Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Latimer Park for this Vanarama National League North game. Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Gateshead, the Tynesiders, or the Heed, as they are now known. And you'll be able to hear this game live on Poppies TV audio this year, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery, your famous Cambridgeshire beers from Wisbeach.
Oh, lovely stuff there, Paul. Yeah.
And welcome back. Your name is?
I think I'm Matthew Spearman.
Matthew Spearman, welcome back. Matt, on a sabbatical.
Definitely, or just to Whitby, but yes,
Same sort of thing.
It's great to be back, and the buzz of being in a new league, new players, new oppositions. Oh, it's great to see. And yes, I know we've had a couple of games already, some going our way, some disappointments there as well. But isn't it nice just to be in a new league and against some oppositions and some away fans coming in as well?
It is. We've got a lot of old teams to play against. One of them today, Gateshead, of course. We've not played them, I think, since about 2011 actually, and we beat them at Nen Park 2-1. We drew away 1-1 in the league and lost in the FA Trophy. But it is our first game ever was in 1983-84 season against Gateshead. But we've got a lot of teams like Kidderminster in there.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, great to see, and as I said, it'd be nice to go to some of these teams away as well and remember the grounds, Kidderminster, as you say, and obviously Gateshead playing at the Athletics Stadium, although they've had a few issues recently, haven't they, Gateshead, and they shouldn't really be in this league due to finance issues, and we know what that's like. They were demoted, and it'll be interesting to see how they get on this season.
It will indeed. Let's hope that we don't do too well today, but we would hope to speak to Nicky after the game and also one of the players. But on Tuesday night, the Poppies were very, very unlucky indeed not to come out with all 3 points against a very physical Chester FC side. And although we don't want to draw too much attention to the officiating of that game, a late controversial penalty in the 93rd minute condemned Kettering to 1-1 draw after seeing Marcus Kelly being sent off for 2 very subliminal fouls, in my opinion, and considering what happened to the Poppies players from Chester. It was a good performance from Kettering, considering they lost the last 2 away games, and it keeps our unbeaten record at home. I know it's only 2 games, but it was a good performance in front of 971.
And you're right, Paul, and you've got to remember as well, Chester, they've always been a strong team. I've never known a weakened team. Again, they've had issues in the past, but to get a draw against them and what could have been a win would have been a great stamp for the rest of the teams in this league to realise how difficult it will be to come to Latimer Park to play on this pitch and play in front of what's a great crowd which we're getting. It's still better than some of the other teams in this league, so that's really positive, and I'm hoping that when we start getting the likes of Kidderminster, Harry is here as well.
Southport.
They're certainly going to be bringing the fans in. Hereford as well. We saw quite a few turn up last time. Yeah. Maybe not, but and that really adds to the atmosphere as well. And I think that's one thing Kettering fans are great at, and that is creating an atmosphere. Normally it's an away game, so actually to start having this at home as well, this is going to spur the players on. It's that so-called 12th man, what managers often talk about, and I'm really hoping we tip over the 1,000 mark today.
That would be nice, wouldn't it, indeed? Kettering so far averaging just over 900 in both of the games. Gateshead, though, are managed by Mike Williamson, and they've drawn all 4 games so far this season, scoring just 2 goals. They drew with Bradford Park Avenue, managed by a certain Marcus Law in the week. They drew 0-0 at AFC Telford, 1-1 at Darlington, and the first game of the season drew 0-0 at the International Stadium against Southport. So last season they finished 17th in the Vanarama National League, but were demoted, as Matt said, to the League North due to financial irregularities. Prior to that, they'd maintained their status in the top division and finished in 3rd position in 2013-14. So they have some pedigree.
Yeah, definitely. They've been one of them teams where it was a bit of a surprise when they first got into the national league, but actually as the season went on, they gained momentum, and they resulted in the 3rd place position, which many years ago, I'm sure no disrespect to their fans, but they would have really took that. You look at the likes of what's happening now to what's happened to Forest Green. You look at Solihull Moors. How they've gradually built up and established themselves in the league. So it wasn't a quick fix for Gateshead. Unfortunately, something's gone wrong there, and they've had to be demoted. And we all know what that's like.
We do indeed. Overall, though, Kettering do favour the games played. They've won 13. The Tynesiders, Gateshead, have won 4. There have been 12 draws. Kettering scored 47 goals to 26 against, and the lowest ever gate between the two sides is 219. That came in 84-85 in the Goaler League. And it's been really since 2009-2010 when Kettering attracted 1,200 to, in those days, at Rockingham Road, seeing Kettering win 4-0. So that would be nice to repeat that. Just one hat-trick has been scored by a Kettering player against Gateshead. That was Tony Lynch in 96 and 97. Well, we do have the teams for you. Matt, if you want to give out the Kettering Town team first of all.
Yeah, of course. So, number 1 is Paul White. Number 2, Gary Storer. Number 3, Joe Skars. Number 4, Luke Graham. Number 5, Sam Cartwright. Number 6 and captain, Michael Richards. Number 7, Lyndon Meikle. Number 8, Connor Kennedy. Number 9, Daniel Nitti. Number 10, Elliot Hodge. And number 11, Marcus Kelly. The substitutes for Kettering this afternoon are number 12, Aaron O'Connor. Number 14, Brett Solcombe. Number 15, Alex Nimley. Number 16, Joel Carter. And number 17, James Brighton.
And Gateshead read like this. In goal is Brad James. 2 is Alex Nicholson. 3, Scott Barrow. 4, Liam Agnew. 5, Toby Lees. 6, Michael Nelson. 7, Joshua Kaode. 8, Elliot Forbes. 9, Jordan Preston. 10, Greg Ollie. And 11, JJ O'Donnell. And the subs are 12, Nicky Deverdix. 13, Sam Guthrie. 14, Connor Oliver. 15, Paul Blackett. And 16, Dominic Tier. The referee today is Ben Atkinson, and he has assistants Dean Statham and Jamie Conn, the famous name there, Conn. Of course, Jim Conn was a player and manager of Kettering back in the Southern League days as a player, and in the early 80s as a manager. There are a few changes this season to the way that we broadcast at home and away, but mainly at home, as we can't show our highlights now until 1 minute past 12 on Sunday night stroke Monday morning, or in midweek. Tuesday matches we can't screen until 10 o'clock on Wednesday nights as well. This is due to the Vanarama National League having restrictions on the way we broadcast, so they get their highlights out first. Of course, we will have our highlights package. Our interviews will be out as soon as we can get them downloaded for you. So our highlights and pre-match etc. this afternoon will be available later in the week, and it's available on our website www.thepoppies.online. Plus we have our archive footage being edited by Richard Atkinson on a weekly basis. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. It's free, easy to do, only takes a couple of minutes. We currently have 1,348 subscribers, which is fantastic.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was just saying before we came on air about that aim of 1,000. It's got past that, and now we're heading off to the dizzy heights of hopefully 2,000 at some point. What does that bring us?
Mars bar, probably.
Oh,
other chocolate bars can be mentioned. But it's an unchanged Kettering Town team. New signing Alex Nimley is on the subs bench, and John Van Vidal, who's missed the Chester and Darlington games, also misses this game against Gateshead due to a head injury picked up at Kings Lynn. I had a quick chat with him in the studio before we came on air, and he's still feeling a little bit dizzy after running around in training.
Yeah, must have been some knock he took there.
Yeah, he didn't come off actually at Kings Lynn. He carried on, and we thought he was going to come off, but he didn't feature against Darlington and Chester, and again misses today. But Alex Nimley is a name that has been cast around for a few weeks now, and what a signing this could be.
Well, I mean, fans of a Football Manager game would be able to tell you that he was once classed as a wonder kid when he played for, or was on the books at Man City. Don't think that quite happened for him. He's
played a game for Man City, didn't he? And then he's
was it Burnley?
It was, and then he played against Juventus, I think it was as well. So
I mean, that's a great experience, and he's obviously been around some great managers there.
Who was the manager that signed him for Man City?
Mancini.
Mancini, yeah, well done.
Just
in time there. 3 points for Matt there. But yes, he also played for Middlesbrough, Crystal Palace, Coventry City, and Port Vale before a succession of clubs in Europe. The last one, I think it was Honka in Finland, where we had to wait for international clearance.
Cold there.
I said Honka.
But if he has come down to this level and he can be consistent, because we do hear about players, dropping down and then disappearing again. We've certainly had players like that ourselves. If he's hungry of establishing his career again and trying to work his way back up into the league, then this is a great opportunity for him to show us exactly what he can do. He's on the bench today, so he can come on and make hopefully that impact which we'll need and or might not need. Hopefully.
Well, as Nicky Eden said on Tuesday night, to me, he said that gives us more options up front with only having NT up there at the moment. O'Connor hasn't really been firing on all cylinders since last season yet, and we're nearly there as well, who did play for Kettering in pre-season against Barwell. And Oxford United looked good in both of those games.
You were there, weren't you?
Yep, he looked fine in those games. Brings a little bit more to the team. Him and NT did work very, very well together, putting through a goal for NT to score against Oxford in that friendly. But this is an unchanged side. Marcus Kelly will play today. It'll be his last game before his one-game suspension for that sending off on Tuesday night against Chester. Having seen the highlights again, I think it was very, very harsh indeed. I know I'm biased, but looks very, very harsh indeed. So Marcus will miss the trip to Leamington. And as we said, Jarvan Fidel has missed the games due to this head injury, bit of concussion maybe.
I'd hope that'd almost be a straight swap or, a rejig about and doesn't cause too many headaches against Leamington. Because again, they're going to be a really tough team to go and play against. Leamington, Kettering, Leamington, they've been very close games in the past, here and away. And I know their goalkeeper who used to cause quite a few issues and... I rate the crowd is no longer with them, is he?
He caused too many issues and he's no longer with Leamington, but he was a fine goalkeeper,
certainly a great goalkeeper,
and a good person to have on the pitch, but he's not at Leamington, so hopefully that influence has gone. Well, can Kettering keep 11 players on the pitch at home? That will be the third game coming up. We had one sent off on the opening day, Sam Cartwright, and then Marcus Kelly on Tuesday. Also, penalties. We've conceded 3 penalties to Latimer Park so far. It's a 1-on-1 record for Paul White. He saved brilliantly against AFC Telford and then conceded one against Chester in the dying embers of that game on Tuesday, and then the one last week at Darlington. So three conceded, 1 awarded, and unfortunately the Kettering Town curse on penalties once again hit them straight in between the gentlemen's regions and hit the post as NT blammed it wide. 2-0. That game should have been settled on Tuesday, and it may have given Chester that little bit of impetus to go ahead and get something out of the game.
Certainly, and we would have been sitting there with a few more points on the board, and we'd say, where we are, that's great. But actually, we've got a long way to go. And you were talking before we came on air today about how many points we should be looking at and where we should be picking these points up from. And I know Nicky Eden's talked many times of making it a fortress here, and I think as long as we can win as many games at home as possible and maybe have the 1 or 2 draws, then that's going to take some of the pressure off, because there are going to be other teams in this league who are going to struggle. We've seen some teams ship lots of goals so far, and there has been changes in management already. We've seen Hereford's management change. We've seen obviously Bradford as well change their management.
Hereford seem to change theirs as almost at a whim, don't they? When they got promoted the other season, they got rid of the management team within 5 games.
Certainly.
So they don't waste time at all, do they? Really?
The expectation must be so high there, and I know they took on a lot of the Gloucester City management when Peter. I think it was Beadle. When he left Hereford, they took them on, and now we've got this position where Hereford and Gloucester are now in the same league, and there's going to be a lot of tough games out there.
Talking of Gloucester, they were 2-0 down against Kidderminster. That's our next game on Bank Holiday Monday the 26th. 2-0 down at Agborough Stadium and won that game 3-2 in midweek. So that's going to be an interesting game when we meet either of those two sides. As I say, Kidderminster, one of the sides I think we first started playing them in 1930. So we have a long standing relationship against Kidderminster,
and I hope they still do a lovely curry.
Balti pie, isn't it?
Well, they're Balti pies, but I remember a couple of years ago, it's been a while since we've played them there, a lovely curry. Actually, you queued up probably 5-10 minutes, made a curry on site for you, and that was gorgeous. We beat them, penalty thanks to JP Manor right at the end of the game as well, so obviously a delight there, but certainly recommend the food there at Kidderminster.
So you'll come again then, will you?
Oh.
There we go. Well, in August we've mentioned we're going to play Leamington next Saturday, and Kettering will hopefully get the first ever win against Leamington. They are a bit of a bogey side, as Matt has mentioned before, but Poppy's TV Audio will be covering that game, so you won't miss that one. Then on Bank Holiday Monday, it's Kidderminster Harrows on Monday the 26th, and then finally on August the 31st, another long trip to Southport. The Hague Stadium, I think it's called, or Hague Avenue, sorry. Hague Avenue has some sponsored name before it now, but I'm not quite sure what it is. But,
all got extras, haven't they, added to that?
Most of them have, yeah. It always makes it a mouthful when you're in there commentating, but there we have it. But yes, this is Gateshead today. It's going to be a tough fixture. They've only conceded 2 goals. They've only scored 2 goals. Talking to the guys at Darlington last week, they said we should do okay against them, but we didn't do too well against Darlington.
Nice.
And, it's the reverse, really, for Kettering. We had the long journey up north last week. Gateshead had a long journey down south. This week it's grim down south. And we'll see how they actually cope with it, because the Chester manager did stay in midweek. Maybe the reason they didn't fire all cylinders was the travelling.
Was the travelling? You know what, the travelling at this time of year as well. I mean, we've been there. We've been down to Poole during the summer holidays. We've been down to Weymouth during the summer holidays, and what should be maybe a 3-hour trip turns into 6-7 hours, and it's never nice. And if you're on that coach for a long amount of time, that can't be pleasant as well. You know, when I turned up at the ground today, I did see the Gateshead coach here, so you know, they're here. It's none of this whole, you know, stuck on the motorway somewhere, or
damn,
which we often hear. But then sometimes that goes against us as well, because we get too complacent, thinking that, you know, they've been doing their warm-ups up and down the aisle on the coach, doing their.
Well, remember the game at Poole that you mentioned a few moments ago, and Kettering were still on the coach when they conceded the goal in the first few minutes.
Well, we were there, and the team wasn't.
The team was there, at least an hour before the team got there, and they were still on the coach when they got on the pitch, and that isn't the best preparation for any game.
No, and you've got to remember, Gateshead are going to be very hungry. You know, 4 draws, they're going to be very frustrated as well. I don't know how close some of them games are were for them to get 3 points there.
They drew at Darlington, which is a marker, and they drew against Telford. And we've played against both those teams. I know you can't read too much into it. We beat Telford with 10 men, and we lost at Darlington quite convincingly. They've drawn both of those games, so you've got to say it's going to be a close game.
It's so hard to tell, and Telford have gone away and have got decent results themselves after playing us. So it's a very, very unbalanced situation at the moment, isn't it? Where you can't really pick out any form from teams. There's no 100% chance of this happening. There's a lot going on there, and even these teams now who have maybe brought a new manager in, all of a sudden they might start getting a bit of momentum as well and start picking up points here and there. So it is such a long way to go. But the problem is, so many games come in this now in September and October. So many games have been played, and hopefully that will start sculpturing exactly where our season's going to go.
It is indeed. As we said, we've got a few stats for you to listen in for tonight. Can we keep 11 players on the pitch? That will be a first of 3 sending offs in 3 consecutive home games. I'm not quite sure that's happened before. Must check that on my database at home. Also, the last hat-trick scored by Poppy at Latimer Park in the league. Any ideas? Don't read my notes.
No, that's what I'm looking over here. I'd write Doobie.
It was Matt Stevens against Farnborough. Of course, he's just joined Mark Cooper at
Forest Green. Exactly.
And the last hat-trick to be scored at Latimer Park in any competition, of course, was Brett Salkin last season against Hensford, who are now in the league below.
Exactly.
Also talk about Salkin. He's got 117 goals now in 571 appearances, and he is the all-time league leading appearance holder. League, I say, because he's only played 91 different cup games where Roger Ashby played over 200, so that's where the difference is. But he's the all-time league appearance holder on 442.
That's fabulous, isn't it?
So he has created another record.
And you know what? I think he is going to still appear a lot this season as well. I had sort of doubts maybe towards the end of last season, thinking maybe we're going to see him more in that sort of a coaching role, or using his experience from the bench and encouraging other players as well. But no, he's been in the action.
Well, he came in for his photograph this afternoon before we came on air. We took all the team photographs, and I did say to him, I've got a hot water bottle for you for the bench, because I said you'll be hugging that. I won't say what he said on air, but you can imagine it wasn't too complimentary towards me, which I thought it deserved, of course. But there we have it. But good old Brett, he's doing well. Of course, he has scored once this season so far. He scored at
King's Lynn,
didn't he?
Brought on up front again. He's certainly a player who will be put in any position, even in goal. We've seen that happen as well.
So 4 goals scored by Kettering this season, 4 different goal scorers, including the own goal that was put in by Roberts of Chester. Let's hope that Kettering can score a few today. Let's hope we get a good attendance. The weather is rather good out there. It's nice and sunny. It didn't look like it was going to be so earlier on.
No,
this
it's
morning. It looked
settled.
quite grey, but it should be a good afternoon, and we'll be able to hear it live on Poppy's TV Audio with myself, Gary Foreman, and Matt Spearman throughout the afternoon. And after the game, we hopefully get Marcus Kelly in. No, we're not going to get Marcus Kelly in. We'll get Nicky Eden.
I think he's been in, hasn't he, Marcus Kelly?
Marcus Kelly's been in, yes. I did say to him with his photograph, do you want a red card next to you so you're familiar? But again, he wasn't too happy with that comment.
Well, you know what, looking at them yellow cards given to him.
Awful.
I mean, we've seen a lot worse. I've seen worse tackles.
Well, the penalty that Kettering gave away in the final moments there, I mean, if that's going to be a penalty, we're going to see loads of penalties this season.
Yeah, and it's a strange one because actually it was Kettering who were on the other end and received a lot of penalties last season when we saw Honers often getting into that penalty area and being brought down. And
which he did for Tamworth the week, but they lost at 3-1, which was nice. But he certainly would have been in his element, I think, in this season.
Oh, definitely, and it's a shame, but you know we've moved on from that, and we've certainly got some players in the starting 11 with the experience of this league and higher leagues as well, which was definitely needed. Whether they can all perform together at the same time, that's another question. I really hope I can see that today.
Yeah, we're around 9 minutes or so before kick-off. There's still time to get down here if you're local and just listening in. As I say, we will be at Leamington next week. That'll be an interesting one, as we say, and let's hope that the Poppies can get some more points on the board. As Nicky Eden said, winning at home or getting points at home is going to be essential this season, because I think on the road it's going to be quite difficult. It's been proven at Kings Lynn and at Darlington last week. It is really here where we need to put that pitch into its usage. In saying that, the pitch I think looks tremendous at the moment.
Oh, I had a quick look at it first time I've seen it this season. It looks fabulous, and we've certainly had a different summer this season compared to last season. We've had a lot of rain. It looks nice and green out there, and I know we've had a few extra people out there helping as well. And as long as we get used to this pitch, and it's still difficult for the teams to come here and play against, then we'll be happy with that.
Yeah, facility-wise, Lascaux Park things have improved tremendously behind the scenes. If you do become a sponsor or you sponsor a match programme, etc., you were taken into the sponsors' lounge, etc., and it's superb up there. It really is a nice, best I think it's ever been, even better than Nen Park, to be fair, and the boardroom element of it for the visiting officials is second to none. They've done a really good job. That is also something that is required by the league. We have to have this done. We have to have a new stand put in with 250 more seats, and we do also need turnstiles, some more turnstiles as well at the other end of the ground. These need to be completed by March, so those will be more visible than behind the scenes. But also I did hear that the clubhouse is going to go to a remake as well, I think it is.
Oh, lovely. I look forward to that. And, we've seen a few larger attendances last season, Hereford, Diamonds, and, it's a ground where it can be difficult at times to see the game when there's a lot to hear. So, there's certainly improvements which will make the visiting fans and our own fans, a better experience. And as long as they can serve up some great football as well on the pitch at the same time, then the attendance should be improving.
Well, both home games have had it all, really. They've had tension, they've had sending off, penalties, late goals, wins, and you couldn't really ask much more for the neutral from Kettering's game. I hope it's not so as I hope it is exciting, but in a positive way for Kettering, and not so nerve-jangling as last Tuesday was. And we can get something out of this game.
I do wonder if it's this whole idea of we're in a new league with the new boys in this league, and we sort of out our depth. Which I wonder if sometimes they just take their mind off the ball slightly. It's a difficult one to do, and fitness is going to be a massive thing as well. As I said, so many games coming thick and fast at the moment. We've got weekday, weekend games going on, and as long as we can get through there in a positive way, and with players finding their form, then that's going to be great for the rest of the season.
Right, we're going to make our way upstairs. Matt's going to go upstairs now. I will be joining him in a few moments for full match commentary. If you are listening from Gateshead, we will give you the teams again in a few moments. If you are listening in, welcome to Poppy's TV Audio, sponsored, as I say, by Elgood's Brewery. Your finest Cambridgeshire ales all the way from Wisbech, and that is thanks to Marcus Beecher and his crew there at Elgood's. So yes, we'll be sampling some of that probably a little bit later in the clubhouse, especially if Kettering win this afternoon. I'll just go through the games coming up. On Saturday we have Leamington away, the 24th, Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, Kidderminster Harrows at home. And the 31st of August it will be Southport. So I'm going to head upstairs now to the commentary position. Matt Spearman should be there. We'll be joined by Gary Foreman in a few moments. So you'll be listening to Poppy's TV Audio. Kettering Town, the Poppers against the Heed of Gateshead, live here on Poppy's TV.
Good afternoon then, welcome to a very sunny, a little breezy Latimer Park, where you are going to be listening to Poppy's TV Audio. This game, Kettering Town, the Poppies versus Gateshead, the Heed, in what should be an exciting match in the Vanarama League, or National League North. Poppy's TV Audio, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. We'd like to thank them for their continuous support this season. So the Kettering fans currently pack out the stand to our right. Obviously waiting to see which way they will be shooting before we kick off. Gateshead certainly brought some fans with them. It's hard to tell at the moment, probably about 20, 30.
I was going more for 10, but yeah, probably 20, 30. Not so many here this afternoon as Tuesday night, I don't think. So we're looking around probably 800 at the moment, but of course there's still a few moments before kick-off. Kettering Town going through their last warm-up ritual in front of us here. Gary Graham coming over, wearing a tie, looks quite smart for Gary.
It's very smart for
very
Gary,
smart,
indeed.
Yes.
Is he off to somewhere after
I
here?
don't know, but anybody listening in, Richard Atkinson, if you can hear us in London, hope things are going okay for you there. If also if Ed is listening in anywhere, hopefully you're okay and not lost your truncheon.
Good luck, Ed. So the referee has blown his whistle and asked for captains to come over. Captain, of course, for Kettering is Michael Richards. And the captain, just trying to work out who it is for Gateshead. If he could turn around, that would be great. It's number 3, and it is Scott Barrow.
Yeah, he'll be wheeling off the coin in a moment, won't he? So that we can see who is going to do what. It's going to be the Kettering Town Huddle now, which is back with us after a few seasons of normal handshakes. It's the Huddle.
Not the hustle.
Not the hustle, but the Huddle. I'm not sure if there's a song called the Huddle, but there we have it. Same team then as on Tuesday night. Just go through Gateshead team for the Gateshead people that are listening. It's Brad James in goal. 2 is Alex Nicholson. 3 Scott Barrow. 4 Liam Agnew. 5 Toby Lees. 6 Michael Nelson. 7 Joshua Keode. 8 Elliot Forbes. 9 Jordan Preston. 10 Greg Ollie. And 11 JJ O'Donnell. Your subs are 12 Nicky Devidix, 13 Sam Guthrie, 14 Connor Oliver, 15 Paul Blackett, and 16 Dominic Tears. And Gateshead are at the Brian Martin Pallets end, so they're on our right hand side. Kettering kicking from left to right, and Brad James in his all yellow kit, Paul White in his neon green, and Gateshead traditionally in their white and black shorts, well, white shirts, black shorts. The referee is getting ready to start play. It's going to be a Kettering Town kick-off. It's NT with the ball on the centre circle. Lovely afternoon here at Latimer Park. Not often we say that, but it is.
It's a very rare thing, isn't it, Paul?
It is. You're in a shirt sleeves, aren't you, here?
At the moment, yep.
And we're off. The ball's back to Richards. He's played out square to Storer. Storer, long ball towards Enty. He traps it, does well. He's got 2 round him, gets the ball to Meikle. He's under pressure, but gets the ball to Graham. And Graham plays it back for Paul White, getting his first touch as the onrushing Jordan Preston tries to close him down, but it's done by White, flicked on by Enty. Out comes goalkeeper Brad James right on the edge of his penalty area as Lyndon Meikle thought he might have a sniff of a chance in the opening brief seconds of this league tie here at Latimer Park. At least a lot of fresh air today. There was an awful aroma around here on Tuesday night.
And it wasn't from the cereal being produced nearby?
It wasn't the cereal. I think it was more to do with the muck spreading, as it's a throw-in right on the far side to Gateshead. Over goes Alex Nicholson by the corner flag to take this.
Yeah, just having a look, it looks like Kettering are playing with the four at the back, and it looks like Gary Story is playing on the right-hand side, and Joe Scars on the left-hand side with Cartwright and Graham in the middle.
The throw-in's been taken. It's been hooked out by a Kettering player there. I think that was Scars. It's a throw-in again to Gateshead. Again on the far side, through to Preston.
Yeah,
gets the ball in towards Keoden, and he flicks it over. Poor White having to come out, hoping the ball goes out of play. He shields it out, and it does in fact go out for a goal kick. 0-0 here on the opening brief minutes of this game. Vanarama National League North.
Yeah, Gateshead certainly pushed the players forward there, didn't they, when they had that that throw. You know, they've obviously got some tall players there using the aerial attack there to try and find a way past Paul White.
That was won by Toby Lees. He's found Preston. He plays it out wide to KO'd on the right wing. He's got Scars in front of him, still KO'd with it. He's down by the corner flag. He comes inside, but he's tangled up there with Scars, and it goes out for a goal kick. KO'd thinks it came off Scars for a corner, but the referee and linesman having none of it. Paul White has to go over and collect the ball. And I think it's the first. Oh, there is some yellow boots. I was going to say the first time I've not seen a game without any yellow boots, but two of the Gateshead players are wearing them.
We've got yellow, and we've also got the highlighter yellowy green. A couple of them as well on there as well. I know someone who would not be impressed.
Back in
with
my
that.
day, it was clogs. You know, we played in clogs, leather balls. You know, you know. Played in jumpers, you know, Aaron sweaters.
Not a bad kick there from Paul White, as in there is a breeze here. It fell straight for the defender for Gateshead, and there is a foul there on the far side. Referee just allowed the game to continue before bringing the ball back, and it will be
it's a moving
ball.
Yeah, you can see that from here. I don't know what Scars was thinking of there, but it was right in front of the referee, and play has to go back. I think he wanted to take it quickly and early, but rules are rules.
Yeah, just trying to pick out Elliot Hodge, wasn't he, on this near touchline, and he's still got his hand up saying where he wants this ball to go. He's got Gary Storer just behind him, a bit more central this time, and that's a nice header into the penalty area. Meikle loses the ball though as it bounces and bobbles in front of him. The ball's cleared away but picked up by Sam Cartwright. Cartwright now plays that ball forwards, trying to pick out Hodge again, but this time it's closer to Meikle, and that rolls all the way through to Brad Jones, who's able to Brad James, who's just able to collect that with ease.
Well, he rolls it down in front of him. Enty tries to break it down, but it goes to Luke Graham, heads it back into the Gateshead half, but won easily by Toby Lees. Flick on by Ollie, but Storer's underneath this one for Kettering. He finds Elliot Hodge. Good turn by Hodge, beats one, gets it to Meikle. Meikle, though, poor ball by Meikle. Gets to get the ball back with Agnew. Agnew into the Kettering half. He finds Ollie. Ollie to Preston. Preston muscled off the ball by Connor Kennedy. Kennedy does well. Squares it over to Kelly. Kelly now with a bit of space to run at this. Still Kelly, in the Gateshead half. Plays it back to Scars. Scars back to Enty. Enty turns. Plays it, ricochets off a Gateshead player, and Jordan Preston plays it out wide to KO'd. He puts a long ball down for Preston to chase, but there is Luke Graham mopping up, and it comes off Preston and goes, though, for a Kettering Town throw-in.
Bit of a flash there from Kettering with a few decent passes there. Impressive to see Kennedy playing that ball in the middle and then to the left-hand side to link up with Luke Graham. A couple of times though we've seen Lyndon Meikle just struggle to hold on to the ball at the moment. Let's hope that that improves as the game continues.
Yeah, NT flicks on towards Meikle. Meikle plays it back though, has to stretch for it, loses the ball to Agnew. Agnew to KO, back to Agnew. He pumps it forward towards Preston. Preston barges down Cartwright. Cartwright wins the battle though, and the linesman said that Preston had put the ball out of play, and that is a goal kick to Kettering. You're listening to Poppy's TV Audio with myself, Paul Cook, and Matt Spearman, sponsored this season by Elgood's Brewery. Yep, Elgood's are sponsoring Poppy's TV. What a good combination.
Oh, brilliant combination. Another great combination here is Gary Foreman, who has made his way up onto the gantry and will be joining us very shortly.
Yep, it's Connor Kennedy. He wins the ball to Enty. He flicks it on now to Elliot Hodge. Hodge has Storer overlapping, doesn't use it, puts the ball into Enty. Enty's inside the penalty area. There's only Meikle there. Back post. It comes in towards Storer. Storer's inside the penalty area here. Might try a shot, doesn't. Plays it towards Hodge. Back post. There's Meikle. Meikle gets it. It comes in. And a goal for Meikle! There it is, the opening goal. Good work and persistent work by Meikle as Gary Foreman steps up and sees the goal.
You step onto the gantry and you see a Kettering goal. Couldn't be better than that. Persistence, I think, there from Lyndon Meikle. The first attempt didn't work, but the second one, a nice little prod into the goal. So an early start for Kettering Town this afternoon and a great start.
So 1-0, that was interesting stuff there. Bit of dilly-dallying around for Gateshead in that 6-yard box and hooked into the net, much to the fans' delight, to put the Poppies 1-0 ahead. Well, Gary, that was a good intervention there. Matt going down for some sustenance, and you seeing a goal.
Yeah, I know. Timing is everything, Paul. You should know that. Marcus Kelly, we're told, actually, who got the goal on the far post.
Yeah, they look rather similar, Kelly and
Meikle
from this distance.
You get the names mixed up quite often, actually, but my excuse is
6 minutes and
come onto the gantry and see the goal. So doesn't really matter who scored it, but Marcus Kelly has got the nod. Sure, beats of experience of getting sent off in the previous game. Ooh. But
Preston there flicked the ball on to JJ O'Donnell, and the Gateshead fans behind the goalmouth thought that had just beaten Paul White, but it didn't, and it is a goal kick. Clarification that it is Marcus Kelly and not for Lyndon Meikle who got that goal. We haven't got a screen up here this season, so we can't see as much as we could on replay. Push there but on Enty, nothing given. Meikle trying to win the header, but it is Barrow, just hooks the ball towards KO. He wins it, gets the ball over to Ollie. Headed on by Kelly towards Enty. He can't win the ball. Meikle trying to slice there, and a bit of a problem here for the Gateshead players. Meikle comes in, this time it is Meikle, and is adjudged to have fouled the number 5, Toby Lees. Another harsh decision there. Refereeing in this league just seemed a bit snowflakey, didn't it?
Yeah, I just thought he used his body well there, Paul, to be honest, to shift the big centre half off the ball, but referee's decision is final, as we know from Tuesday.
Yes, let's hope this isn't a game dominated by referees' decisions, but Kennedy loses the ball there, but it finds a Gateshead player. It's back now with Barrow. Barrow, he turns, plays the ball to Forbes. Forbes trying to get O'Donnell away. O'Donnell is going down this left-hand side, puts the ball in, it comes off Storer. And O'Donnell should have left that, and that goes for a corner. Good work there by JJ O'Donnell. And the Gateshead, there are quite a few Gateshead fans here now. They're all behind the goal. Well done to them for travelling down the long distance from Tyneside. It's a corner here on the left-hand side. In it comes, out swinger. Paul White leaves it. It's headed out by Richards. Back to the corner taker. It's Ollie with it. Paul White back post catches easily. And a good take by Paul White, who's had a very good start to the season so far between the sticks. Very impressive. Delivers the ball long towards NT and Meikle. Meikle beaten to it, though, by Nicholson. Nicholson to KO'd. He can't get the ball. Kelly can. Kettering were offside. They're not now. Richards plays the ball back to Scars. Scars to Kelly. Kelly trying to switch it over here, but I think it might be intercepted by Ollie. It is. Ollie does well, gets it to O'Donnell. He plays it back. Gateshead pressing forward, putting a long ball down by Barra, cut out by Luke Graham, only towards Agnew. Agnew too heavy there as the waft of the Weetabix comes flying over once again. Those Tuareg campfires are unmistakable, aren't they, Gary? Just breathe in that air.
Well, I'll say the Chester fans were marking. They thought it was a chocolate factory. I had to put them right on that score. But there was worse things you can smell on a gantry.
There are. Quite a bit spouted out by us too, but there we go. It's Storer then towards Enty, beaten to it by Barrow. He finds Forbes. He plays it square on the far side to Nicholson, who's let the ball roll on. He'll do well to keep this in. He has done just. Plays it long towards KO'd. He turns, but under pressure, does well. Flicks the ball through to Forbes. Forbes got Richards with him. Still Forbes with it. Plays it back to Nicholson. Nicholson squares it to Agnew. Agnew turns. Plays it back to Nicholson, who's on the byline. It's back to, with Agnew. He plays it back into the Gateshead half. And it is back with Michael Nelson, ex-Norwich City player, of course, Nelson, I've been informed. And he plants it straight out for a throw-in. Typical Norwich City type of tactic, that is, isn't it? Just hoof the ball out. Yeah, learned that directly at Carrow Road, I've been told by our Norwich City fan who's up here on the gantry with us. And it's Scars playing a long ball, but Nelson just allows that to roll back to Brad James. He rolls the ball out to Nelson. Nelson back to Nicholson, back to Nelson. Nelson again with the ball. He's put it towards Agnew. Agnew having to play the ball back, being pressurised by Kettering. He has to play the ball back to Brad James. Brad James moving the ball to the edge of the penalty area. 1-0 to Kettering if you've just joined us. That goal scored on 6 minutes by Marcus Kelly after good work from Meikle. Headed on by Preston, hoofed away, but Gateshead get possession of the ball and JJ O'Donnell won't be able to keep that in, and that goes out harmlessly for a Kettering Town throwing on our left-hand side. Estimating here a crowd, I was thinking around probably 800-900, do you think, Gary?
Yeah, I think we'll do well to hit the Chester mark. It was a very good attendance, boosted by a couple of hundred at least from Chester on a Tuesday night. There's certainly less Gateshead fans here today. Although one of them told me that this is their longest travel this season, so we are the most southern point, but they're on the break attacking here, Gateshead.
Well, Preston puts the ball in, it's a shot. It comes out again, a ricochet here. The number 8 takes a shot. It knocks Luke Graham over and arrives at the feet of Marcus Kelly. He's trying to find Enty, but it arrives at Nelson, and he finds Nicholson on the far side by the touchline to KO'd. KO'd squares the ball and plays a 1-2, but it's a poor 1-2. And Paul White collects the ball quite easily as KO'd runs towards him to make sure that he picks the ball up.
It was our longest trip of the season. I think we'll be Blythe without too much shadow of a doubt.
Yes, Blythe Spartans, that's a long one. Spennymoor, that's below, isn't it, I think? Yeah. Darlington we've been to, and Southport, of course, another long journey for us. 2,819 miles further this season than last season's travelling. 5,300 miles we have to do.
Yeah, and you think about the expense that's involved in the for the clubs to meet the travel budgets, and
Storer plays a long ball out, and it's well headed in by Nelson, squared it to Lees. He finds Agnew. Agnew puts the ball forward to Preston. Preston plays it out the wheel to Nicholson. It's back with Preston on the halfway line. Still Preston with it, plays it long, cut out by Richards. Richards for Kettering, pumps the ball forward. It's a poor ball, and it's too long with the wind, and that arrives at Brad James, who just bowls the ball out. He finds Forbes. Forbes turns. Still Forbes, puts a long ball for Preston, but that's won by Cartwright. Meikle gets the ball back to Storer and is adjudged to have been fouled by Agnew midway in the Kettering's own half. It's Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 0. With around how many minutes gone here? Let's have a quick butchers with about 15 minutes by all accounts, as Paul White's going to take this free kick towards Enty. Enty turns but can't win the ball. It's hooked away by a Gateshead defender, only towards Luke Graham, tramps it down, pumps it back in. There's Preston, heads on though towards Meikle. Meikle, still Meikle, might try a left-footed shot, doesn't. Gives it to Kelly. Kelly fires one in. It comes off Toby Lees and ricochets for a corner. If that was on target, that could have been number 2. But very good strike.
Yes, good attacking intent there from Kettering. Marcus Kelly with the shot deflected. But we'll get a chance to go again with the corner that looks like Hodge is trotting over to take.
Hodge look a lot like Matt Stevens from distance.
Yes, he does.
Hodge then with the in-swinging corner towards the back post. Too heavy, too high, and that goes out for a throw-in on the far side. Bit of a waste, really, after all that build-up.
Yeah, he didn't allow for the wind there. A strong wind blowing straight across the pitch, right into the gantry as usual. And
it's usually due to a match curry, isn't it?
Well, yes.
Throw-in to Gateshead by the corner flag. Comes then towards JJ O'Donnell, who I saw bring in the kit in with the kit man this morning, as he arrived quite early. He's out there on the pitch now, though. And the ball back with Barrow, plays it long. Good work there by Preston. Comes in towards Marcus Kelly, beating KO to it. He finds Scars. Scars plays the ball wider to Kelly, who's now hugging the byline. Comes inside, plays it back to Scars. Scars plays it square to Cartwright. Man of the match on Tuesday was Cartwright. He plays it wide to Luke Graham, nearest to where we're for. Luke Graham looks up, plays a long ball for Enty. And that was well won again by Nelson. And then a little flick. And Preston gets that ball. Graham does well, and that should be a Gateshead throwing right on the halfway line. Agnew leaves it for Barrow, right in front of the Gateshead dugout. Still nothing going on here. Good throw in though, found his man. O'Donnell turns, beats 1, beats 2, comes inside the penalty area there, back post, there's KO'd. Still KO'd, lays it back for the number 8, might try shot, doesn't. In comes Nicholson for a long ranger. No, he comes inside, flicks it towards the back post, and well intercepted there by Storer. And Preston can't believe it as Hodge clears the ball long towards Enty, but it's headed back by Gateshead to Scott Barrow, putting pressure back onto Kettering. He's going down this left-hand side, does well. And a foul by Hodge on Barrow has resulted in a free kick on this left-hand side as Gateshead begin to ramp up the ante. Look a bit more threatening than they did early doors in this game. 1-0 though to Kettering Town. Another goal scorer, a different goal scorer. Kelly goes into the books as the goal scorer. Free kick taken by Ollie. KO'd. KO'd turns outside the penalty area. Still trickery from him, but he's been beaten to it by Scars, and that goes out for a throw-in.
Good defended by Scars there, but also good defended before that from Michael Richins with a good clearing header who's under pressure, and that was a very important clearance. But yeah, the last few minutes Gateshead have got on the ball a bit more, and we seem to be sinking back into a bit more of a defensive position.
It's only the third goal that Gateshead have conceded in 5 games. Mind you, they've only scored 2 as well, as the ball is out to Meikle. Meikle inside the centre circle, trying to play it long towards Hodge, but it's too wide and goes out of play. Good idea. Hodge though wasn't really alert. It was a heavy ball by Meikle, and that will be a throw-in to the visitors.
I think he needed the ball a bit quicker, to be honest, Paul. I think Hodge had made the run, and by the time the ball came through, he knew he was offside, so he gave up.
Nicholson hugs that from Brad James on the far byline. He plays it to Agnew. Agnew plays it high towards Ollie. Ollie loses out to Cartwright. He finds he finds Connor Kennedy, who gets the ball back from Scars. He plays it out towards Hodge. Hodge has Storer now overlapping. This could be a good movement here. He now finds Storer. Storer on this right-hand side. Nobody with him though at the moment. Hodge arrives now. Hodge with the ball. Still Hodge, thought about a double shuffle, comes inside and it's going to come off the number 3, and it comes off Hodge though for a goal kick. Scott Barrow doing very well there, playing the ball onto Hodge when a corner seemed certain, but it was in fact a goal kick. Next Saturday, Kettering play away at Leamington, a ground where they haven't seen too much, well, no success actually at all. So let's hope that fortunes can change there, but that's a week away, and we've got to concentrate on this game where Kettering are leading this encounter 1-0 from that Marcus Kelly goal. KO trying to find Preston, but it's hooked away by Cartwright. O'Donnell trying to chase this down, but Storer should allow that ball to go out of play, which he does, and that's a Kettering Town throw-in. Yeah, beautiful afternoon here at Latimer Park, really.
Yep,
But,
sun shining, a bit gusty as usual, but can't complain too much.
No, it certainly is doing okay. The ball back with Storer from the throw-in, played to Hodge. Hodge gets it to Kennedy. He flicks it through to Meikle and put out a play by Nelson, thrown to Kettering halfway in the Gateshead half on our right-hand side. Gary Storer trotting over to get the ball. Nick Eden's out of his dugout here, getting Kennedy to respond, and Kennedy completely ignores him. But Kennedy has got the ball from the throw-in. It's back with Storer. Storer comes inside to Meikle. Meikle back to Storer, finds Enty. Enty to Meikle. Good work here from Kettering, but then all the good work is undone, blocked, and Preston gets the ball on his own though. Preston chests it down. Does well trying to find KO'd, but cut out by Scars. He finds Richens. Richens, long ball here for Hodge. Hodge does well, comes inside. Enty wants the ball pushed forward. Enty gets the ball. Nobody with him though. He's out here wide on the right-hand side. Comes outside, still Enty with it. Now inside the penalty area, and he loses the ball to JJ O'Donnell, does well. And Nelson clears it out towards Preston. Luke Graham wins the header, gets it to Richens. He plays it back to Cartwright. And Cartwright plays a long ball which will go out of play and will be a goal kick. No, it's just kept in by Scott Barrow. Ball didn't go out of play. The long haul forward. Barrow then has gone a few yards, not on for him at the moment, playing it long towards Preston, but that's again too heavy. They're not judging the wind either side too well at the moment. That arrived at Paul White. There's a few juggles on his feet, playing in his new blue boot. They were featured, I think, last week. And Paul White signals long ball towards Enty. Nelson should win this as he does, and it goes back to the goalkeeper on the second bounce. And to see us out in this first half, I'm going to hand you over to Matt Spearman.
Thank you very much there, Paul. Yeah, just watching the game unfold in this first half, and certainly a lot of long balls going back and forth from both teams at the moment. Certainly, you know, there's occasional times where a bit of flair is shown on the pitch, but at the moment we've got a bit of a header game going back and forth before the referee blows his whistle to show that there's a foul there, and it will be a free kick to Gateshead in their own half. So Kettering took the lead after 7 minutes thanks to Marcus Kelly. Just after that we saw JJ O'Donnell come very close for Gateshead, but since then neither keeper has really been tested. Luke Graham though misses the ball, it bounces around, shouts of handball there from the Gateshead bench. It did look like it made contact with Luke Graham's hand there, but I don't think he really knew too much about it, did he?
No, completely accidental.
Gateshead pushing forward now with the JJ O'Donnell, trying to get a corner there, but Gary Storer has done well to see that ball out, and it will be a goal kick for the Poppies. Sun just disappearing behind a couple of clouds here at Latimer Park, but the breeze is still there, coming towards us. and it will be a goal kick. And again, it reaches the halfway line, trying to find NT, but the strong header there from Nelson heads the ball forward. Referee blows. There is a knock there to the Gateshead player. Just wait and see what number it is. I think it's number 9, Jordan Preston, who gets back up, and referee indicates that it will be a ball played back to Paul White. The Gateshead management not sure about what the referee was doing there, but Paul White has another go, kick in and trying to find NT. It comes off the back of his head. Hodge gets the ball, gets past Nelson into the penalty area, crosses the ball in, comes off the number 5, that's Toby Lees, and it's a corner for the Poppies. Nice bit of work there from Hodge.
Yeah, he's quite a tricky little player. He's got a good burst of speed on him. It's good enough to beat the first defender. Second one came across and corner conceded, which Marcus Kelly will be looking to take on his left foot to swing in.
Yep, Kettering have got lots of players in red on the edge of the shirt as that ball goes in. It's a poor corner. It goes towards the near post. Fortunately, Meikle gets the ball, plays it back towards Kelly. He's got 2 players on him, back towards Meikle. Meikle looks up, crosses far post, header there, and a great save from James, although the offside flag had gone up against, I think, was it Connor Kennedy?
Yes, Connor Kennedy with the header, but the flag went up straight away as soon as Meikle's cross went into the box. There was 2 or 3 Kettering players free at the back post, and just edged forward and unfortunately caught out by the linesman's flag, but the keeper didn't know that. He made a good save.
Well, the corner wasn't great from Marcus Kelly, but actually the resulting ball into the area was decent to pick out a Kettering player from Lyndon Meikle. But it's Gateshead now on the far side of the pitch with the ball towards the number 4, Agnew. Agnew plays it back towards Nelson. Nelson just controls the ball, plays it out wide to the far side of the pitch. The ball goes over the halfway line. It's played forwards towards Coyote. Coyote just battling there between himself and Marcus Kelly. Releases the ball and it goes all the way back towards the Gateshead defence. Back into the middle there with Nelson. Nelson looks up to see his options. Carries the ball forward towards the centre circle. Long ball played forward this time, and there's no player in white or black. It goes over the top of Elliot Hodge, and it will go for a throw-in for the Poppies. I think he was trying to release Scott Barrow there. Again, the long ball from Gateshead, trying to get that ball forward quickly. Unsuccessful this time, and it's going to be Gary Storer with the throw. Looking for his options, he's got Kennedy, plays it towards Hodge, Hodge to Kennedy. Kennedy long the ground towards Marcus Kelly, to Scars, back towards Kelly. Operating a bit more centrally at the moment. Kelly now plays towards the wing. Meikle having to track back there, and the ball comes off the number 10 last, although it's indicated a throw-in for Gateshead. They throw the ball in quickly. It's on the far side of the pitch in Kettering's half, towards the number 11, O'Donnell. O'Donnell has a shot. Oh, and that is low, and it's to the left-hand side of Paul White. He was diving, he had it covered, but it was still a dangerous shot, though.
Yeah, another strike from distance for O'Donnell. Got a good left foot on him, and it wasn't far away from Paul White's left-hand post. Paul White certainly was concerned enough to fling himself over that in that direction, but fortunately for Kettering, perhaps a couple of feet wide. But generally, I think Kettering have adjusted pretty well this half to the wind. Probably a little bit better than Gateshead. They seem to have been overhitting a few long balls, but reasonably comfortable at the moment, but plenty of football still to play.
So we had the goal kick from Paul White is towards NT, who is flagged as offside. Again, a nice bit of creation there from Lyndon Meikle to try and get the ball to NT. Free kick taken quickly. A bit too much shown there, and Kennedy picks up the ball. It's now with Meikle. Meikle continues, shouts of handball as he tries to thread the ball through to NT. Header there, strong header from the number 10. Ollie bursts again, the flag goes up, but this time it is Gateshead who are offside.
Yeah, frustrated to see so many flags going up for offside, but if it's that kind of afternoon, then so be it. Kettering have got the noses in front.
So we've got 28 minutes gone here at Latimer Park. It's Kettering Town 1. Gateshead FC 0. Marcus Kelly scoring after 7 minutes in the Vanarama National League North. You're listening to Poppers TV Audio, sponsored by Ellsgood Brewery. And we have a throw-in for the Poppers here. Gary Storer collects the loose ball. He is halfway in the Gateshead half. He's looking for options. He's got Hedge. Storer still going, taken out in a melee of boots from the Gateshead players. Now they look to break away. And the referee has signalled a free kick. I think it was on Ollie. Not sure who's foul by.
No, it didn't look a lot in it. Perhaps a little bit of blocking off from the Kettering player, but free kick on the halfway line, so should be too troubling to defend.
Yeah, Barrow just looking for options and instead plays it all the way back towards Nelson. Nelson back towards Barrow. Barrow on the halfway line looks up, trying to find Coyote. It's now with O'Donnell on the edge of the penalty area. He turns, goes towards the goal, plays it towards Agnew. Agnew with a long shot. It loops up in the air, the wind catches it, and so does Paul White. He had no players around him and he's able just to track that ball straight into his arms. Goal kick for the Poppers, which Paul White kicks out his hand. It's a long ball, goes all the way to the penalty area of Gateshead, and there's a bit of a confusion there between the goalkeeper Brad James and Enty, who tried to put the goalkeeper off. Referee blew for a free kick, and well, fair play for the Kettering player to try and put the goalkeeper off there. Ball still in play, and it's now with Agnew. Agnew tries to get past two Kettering players, which he does. Plays it central towards O'Donnell. O'Donnell plays it further forwards towards Coyote. Out wide towards Barrow. Barrow, who now looks up, he's got Storer on him. Crosses the ball in towards the far post. A lot of ball watching, and it goes out for a Gateshead corner.
Yeah, they've got a bit of height up front, Gateshead, so any cross that comes into the box is obviously of concern. That one was knocked out for a corner. Time to defend again now.
Ollie takes a corner, near post, Storer is there. He plays the ball all the way back to Greg. Ollie with another opportunity. This time he plays it more central into the box, but Kettering's Paul White is there and able to collect the ball under pressure this time. Just holds onto the ball and looks around for some options as Kettering regroup.
Good handling ball, Paul White. It won't be easy in conditions like this with a strong wind, but so far so good with his handling. It's been very good all season, actually.
Yeah, certainly a name which has appeared a lot in the previous games, mainly for positive performances. Cartwright with the ball, plays it forwards towards Inti. Ball just bouncing around at the moment in the Gateshead half. The ball played all the way back towards Brad James, the goalkeeper for Gateshead today in his all yellow kit. Just rolls the ball out of the penalty area, still has it, and will put his orange boot through the ball. Straight into the heart of the Kettering defence, bounces over the top of Luke Graham, and it's a foul there. It looks like Connor Kennedy was under some pressure there from the Gateshead player. Will be a free kick in Kettering's half. Paul White comes to collect the ball. Yeah, certainly the breeze has picked up as the day's gone on, and it will be difficult when the ball is played high in the air. Kettering just have to be aware of this in the second half. Paul White with the kick forward, trying to find NT. Instead it's with O'Donnell. O'Donnell plays it central towards Agnew. Agnew just shows a bit too much of the ball there, and now it is Lyndon Meikle. Meikle charging forward. having to play out wide, tries to get past the number 4, crosses the ball in, far post, a header there, and it's Michael Richards with the header. Very rare to see him come trailing in there with a great header though, straight at the goalkeeper. Ball still in play at the moment, and that's woke the Kettering fans up, although referee blows for a free kick there. Great work there from Michael Richards.
Yeah, wonderful play. Lyndon Meikle it was with the run and the cross right at the byline, cut it back nicely. Richards, great leap and a header, but Brad James was up to it with a diving save to keep it at 1-0. But again, it's what chances they have, and there's not been too many this afternoon. The better ones have certainly fell Kettering's way.
Paul White with a long ball forward, comes off the back of Toby Lee's head, straight into the arms of Brad James. James just looking for options, Kettering leaving players further forward at the moment, so he's going to have to kick long. He didn't have confidence in delivering the ball to his defence and getting them to play it out from defence, but it's still Gateshead with the ball. Jordan Preston on the far side crosses the ball in. Number 11, JJ O'Donnell again on the end of a cross there. Now, some of his own players were, I think, hoping that he would have played that back maybe to them in a bit more space, instead of going straight for goal there.
No, I think the header was there for a go at goal, and it wasn't too far away. I'm claiming a corner, but the referee says no. It didn't touch a Kettering defender, so Paul White will get the chance to clear again.
Ball from Paul White doesn't stay on the pitch, it goes straight off for a throw-in, straight over the head of Elliot Hodge. Will be a throw-in just in front of the Kettering dugout. Barrow with the throw. Luke Graham clears the ball, but it's picked up by Onley. Back towards Barrow. Barrow switches it all the way towards his number 5, Toby Lees. Toby Lees just under a little pressure at the moment. He's looking for options. He has to play the long ball out, and it's picked up by Gary Storer. Header there from Gary Storer, and it was left by the Gateshead player and fell straight toward Daniel Nunti, who didn't really know too much about it. It's gone out for a throw, and again right in front of the home dugout where Nicky Eden is watching on. The header there from Graham straight towards the Gateshead player. Storer goes down with his hands on his face. The referee finally sees it. He stops the play, and it looked like it was Joshua Coyote who may have had his arms up, although he's not going to speak to any of the Gateshead players.
No, I didn't see anything in it too much yourself, but I think Gary Storer obviously had a bit of a knock to the face, but he's back on his feet already. No blood. It's certainly not an incident like we had with Luke Graham on Tuesday evening, where there was plenty of blood and plenty of nose plugs going in, and
just lucky he had a red shirt on.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, no treatment required for Gary Storer. The players have taken the opportunity to take a bit of water on, and the referee will drop the ball just inside the Gateshead half. I think it'll be going back to the Gateshead keeper. It will indeed.
Yeah, it's certainly hot out there, and a good opportunity for the Kettering players and the Gateshead players to take on some liquid there. We've got 37 minutes gone here at Latimer Park in this Vanarama National League North game between Kettering Town and Gateshead. It's currently 1-0 to Kettering Town after Marcus Kelly found the back of the net for the Poppies after 7 minutes. Both teams gone close since, but it still remains 1-0 to the Poppies, and they'll want that as they go in at half-time. But Gateshead are now in the Kettering half with the ball on the far side of the pitch, charging forward towards the penalty area. It goes into the penalty area and couldn't quite find JJ O'Donnell. Certainly a handful, isn't he, JJ O'Donnell?
Yeah, he is. He's seemed to be their creative player. Quite a workman-like side, I think you could say so far. They've tried the long ball a few times unsuccessfully, but Kettering might be in here.
Well, the goalkeeper's come out, head Hodge with the ball in. Well, it all happened very quickly there, and it's resulted in a Kettering corner. So a long ball there from Paul White fell all the way forward into the Gateshead penalty area. Daniel Enty took on the challenge of trying to beat Brad James, the goalkeeper of Gateshead, and succeeded. Brad James had to come out and play the ball out. It fell towards Elliot Hodge. It was a very tight angle, and he had a scuff shot, and it just trickled towards the goal line. It was picked up by the Gateshead defender, and then he put it out for a goal kick, for a corner. Marcus Kelly with the short corner again. Another poor corner from Marcus Kelly. That's 2 in succession now, and Kettering now have to soak up some pressure here as the number 9 Jordan Preston tries to race away with the ball.
Yeah, interesting passage of play that was. Matt, bit of comedy of errors. Gateshead at the back, missing the initial ball forward and then managing to miscontrol the ball out for a corner, but unfortunately he couldn't take advantage of it.
Hodge with the ball in the Gateshead area. He looked for options. He finds Storer. Storer towards Kennedy. Kennedy back towards Storer. Kennedy looks up, plays it through to Storer. Done well. Storer still advanced and finds Meikle. Meikle crosses in, and Storer with some sort of kick there, and Kelly plays the ball straight at Brad James, who was coming out. Another corner for the Poppies, and it's all of a sudden picked up for Kettering here at Latimer Park.
Good pressure again from Kettering. They've certainly been the most creative side this first half, and they nearly got a second goal there. Again, pretty in a similar position. Marcus Kelly at the back post. Very close to Brad James though, and hit his body. Gone out for another corner, which Hodge will take this time. Let's hope for a better delivery.
Yeah, we've seen some poor corners so far from Marcus Kelly. Opposite side this time. The ball does go in, comes straight out, and well, I'm not too sure what that was from Lyndon Meikle. He seemed to just catch the end of his boot. It looped straight over the top of the defence, and the goal as well just went over.
Yeah, but Nicky Eden should be a pleased man really with the first half performance. Kettering have worked hard. They've prevented too many efforts on Paul White's goal, and they've certainly looked the most creative side going forward at the other end. Just get a second goal, then things will be looking very good indeed for the Poppies.
Well, you have to remember going into today's game, Gateshead have they've drawn all 4 games so far, and obviously they've got a decent defence. They'd only conceded 2 goals before today's game. James with the ball plays it out. Hodge there just trying to win the ball back, but it's still with Gateshead. Preston plays the ball all the way back to his goalkeeper, who plays that straight back out for a throw for the Poppies in the Gateshead half. Just Gateshead just look like they're struggling a little bit with the extra pressure Kettering are putting on at the moment. Hodge, lots of players in a small area there, and now the ball is with Preston. Preston plays it out wide, and that's just come off the tripod of the Gateshead camera. Some interesting footage there. Will be a throw-in for Gateshead. Will be Scott Barrow who will throw this into play. Looking for options at the moment. He hasn't really got anyone there. Plays it long towards Agnew. Agnew looks up, plays it towards his number 2. Then Preston plays it out wide, and Scars is there. Kelly is there as well. He plays out forward. The ball just looping around at the moment, and well, look, referee has blown to say that NT was fouling. I think it was number 4 Liam Agnew. Very soft challenger, but a free kick for Gateshead. Looks like there's going to be a 1 minute added here at Latimer Park in a game which actually has gone very quickly in this first half. Kettering scoring after 7 minutes, and the pace has continued. Paul White currently just holds the ball and looks for options before kicking out of his hand. Very central again. Ball picked up with Storer. Storer plays a long ball forward. It's on the ground. Meikle tries to get on the end of it. He does get something on it, but it's a Gateshead player there as well. Hodge into the area of NT. NT towards Meikle. Meikle on the edge of the penalty area. Plays the ball in. It comes off Michael Nelson for another corner for the Poppies. maybe this will be third time lucky for Marcus Kelly.
Let's hope so, because we know he's got the quality, and he's had 2 very poor ones.
Yeah, he certainly found the near post. So yeah, 1 minute of stoppage time indicated here at Latimer Park. Kelly with the corner. This time towards the far post, it comes off the head of, I think it was Nelson, but it's Mikkel. Plays the ball in, header for Menti. Up and out. Hodge plays it wide towards Marcus Kelly. Kelly back towards Hodge. Tries to get on the end of it, but the number 4, Liam Agnew, will see that out for a goal kick for the Poppies. For Gateshead, sorry.
Yep, just coming to the end of the half, and it's been a very good one for the Poppies. Been impressed with their work rate, the same as on Tuesday night, and they've been more creative as well, actually, than they were on Tuesday night, and thoroughly deserve to be in the lead. I'm sure Gateshead will regroup and come again in the second half, but very decent effort from the Poppies.
Well, you have to say the 2 defence look very organised at the moment here at Latimer Park, and there's certainly been some work done there. But the referee does blow for half-time here. So, Poppies TV audio, we will have a 15-minute break. We will be back with you for the second half of this game, and we will also be getting some interviews from the management and the players, and you'll be able to watch that on the Poppies TV website. And don't forget, the highlights will be released Monday morning. You'll be able to watch that as well. So, half-time here at Latimer Park. It's Kettering Town 1, thanks to a Marcus Kelly goal after 7 minutes. Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 0.
Welcome back to Latimer Park as the teams come out for the second half. If you've just joined us, it's Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 0. That all-important goal scored in 6 minutes by Marcus Kelly inside the 6-yard box after a bit of a confusion with the goalkeeper and fullback, and Kelly stabbed the ball in the back of the net to the delight of the Poppers fans that were behind the goal, and they've now transferred to the Tin Hat end. Not too many Gateshead here, probably around 50 maybe, have made the long journey from Tyneside, and no substitutions from either side at the moment. With me for the start of the second half is Gary Foreman.
Yep, good afternoon, Paul. And more of the same, please, from Kettering. Well worth the good value for the first half lead. You just get the feeling, though, that we've not seen the best of Gateshead in that first half, and I expect them to, step it up a level, and it'll be up to the Poppies, of course, to respond.
Yes, we'll have to wait and see. Kettering kicking towards the Tin Hat, and it'll be Gateshead to get us underway with Greg Ollie with the ball in the centre circle there on the centre spot. Referee just counting the players as the Kettering fans get behind the team as they do in that second half. The referee looking at his sundial, and we're about to get away here. You're listening to Poppers TV Audio, sponsored by Elgoods, and we're underway, second half. Ball passed out to Nicholson on this right-hand side. He gets the ball to Preston. He heads on, cut out by Cartwright, and it's pumped forward towards Enty, who misses the ball, but it is with Nicholson. He finds Michael Nelson, who lets goalkeeper Brad James have his first touch. Had a good first half, did the Gateshead goalkeeper, saving 2 if not 3 certain goals with some splendid stops and saves, and has kept the Tynesiders in the first half. Kettering need to take the chances as the ball goes out, and it is a Gateshead throw-in. Hasn't been taken yet. Not a lot of movement for the Gateshead team. It comes into play now towards KO'd, but and John Dunham gets a touch on the ball. It's in the gantry. Ed Palmer, if you're listening, once again.
Good. That was good footwork.
Once again,
by
Ed,
Mr.
you've
Dunham
missed
there.
out as there's a beautiful ball by Dunham back onto the pitch as Enty loses the ball. Scars gets it on to Connor Kennedy. It's high in the sky. Push, blatant push there by Toby Lees on Enty, and he goes down. The referee actually saw that one, and has given a free kick to Kettering just inside the Gateshead half. Richards is over it. Referee saying where it should be taken, in that muddy area.
Yeah, the wet patch.
The wet patch. Yeah, they're still there, but there we have it. It has rained a lot in the last couple of days. It's Scars then, left-footed with this. Plays it out wide towards Kennedy. Kennedy can't get there. It's back with JJ O'Donnell, who clears the ball towards Preston, cut out by Luke Graham, and that goes into the nursery, the other side of the ground. And there's a hamstring injury, looks like, for Preston. He's gone down off the pitch on the far side. So Gateshead line up like this. The Gateshead fans, if you are listening in goal is Brad James, 2 is Alex Nicholson, 3 Scott Barrow, 4 Liam Agnew, 5 Toby Lees, 6 Michael Nelson, 7 Joshua Keo'd, 8 Elliot Forbes, 9 Jordan Preston, 10 Greg Ollie, and 11 JJ O'Donnell. But Jordan Preston doesn't look very happy at the moment. He's in agony over the far side, so Gateshead down to 10 men as we speak. Ball being played towards KO, cut out by Cartwright, but won back by Ollie. He plays it to Nicholson. Nicholson trying to find Agnew. Cut out though by Kettering. Away comes Meikle over the halfway line. He's got Enty, he's got Elliot Hodge. Ball come through, and the linesman was going to put his flag up, but the ball is back with Brad James. As Preston is still receiving treatment on the far side. No movement in the subs bench though by Gateshead at the moment. He doesn't look in very good condition over there though, grimacing as I would say bucket and sponge, those days have gone, haven't they? But
yeah,
the equivalent of today's society of sprays
are
applied. Doesn't look like that it is. It's a throw-in to a throw-in to Kettering, as we've just received the attendance today, and a disappointing one of just 701 here at Latham Park, as Scars gets the ball away, but it's headed by Nelson. He can only find Meikle. Meikle to Richards has gone through, and Richards is brought down by Agnew. And the referee now has seen enough, and the first player goes into the referee's book. It's going to be Agnew.
Number 4, yeah.
Number 4 goes into referee's book, as indeed Gateshead do make the substitution, and it's Nicky Deverdix coming on. I did say Deverdix.
Not clever.
Not clever at all, no. But he is coming on for the injured Preston on the far side, who still hasn't got up. So that's Jordan Preston's last part of the game. And Deverdix having to go back and have his boots and underwear checked by the linesmen, as they're very particular these days to see if they make sure they've been washed correctly. And
yes, jewellery and
jewellery and all that sort of stuff.
Hairbands and all this palaver.
It is, yeah. Getting back to the game, it will be a free kick taken by Scars, trying to find Connor Kennedy at the back post. It comes off Kennedy, but cleared by Forbes, only towards Richards. Back with Gateshead, but again to Storer. Storer finds Connor Kennedy. He's got 3 or 4 around him, loses the ball, and away goes Agnew. He finds Deverdix. He's got JJ O'Donnell here. He's then pushed by Meikle, and that's going to be a card for, well, it's Kelly in fact. So Kelly receiving a bit of treatment from referees in the last few games.
He's getting a reputation, Marcus Kelly, isn't he?
Yep.
You know, Michael Richards, I think, has he been booked this season? Perhaps once.
Oh, yes. Richards has been booked. At
the, but, you know, Marcus Kelly is
sent off on Tuesday,
3 yellow cards
booked
now.
Today and scored. So, yes, 3 yellow cards. And it's going to be a free kick, about 10 yards, 10 metres, inside Kettering's half. Agnew over it. There's a one-man attempted wall by Meikle. Paul White ushering his defence. It's going to go towards the back post. There's a melee of players. Referee having to watch very carefully. It comes in towards that back post. There's Luke Graham. He wins the header. It goes out towards Deverdix. He hooks it back in, cleared by Cartwright. And then Enty gets the ball, won by Meikle, but ends up with Nicholson has to play a long ball back to James. And he has a low ball to Storer. Storer plays it out wide to Hodge. Hodge with a bit of space now. He has Barrow in front of him. He's got Kennedy behind him. In comes Hodge. It comes off. A deflection. And that will be the first corner for Kettering in the second half on the far side, as the Kettering fans in the tin hat find their voice again in this second half, as my team sheet has just blown into all sorts of pieces. So the hazards have been stuck on this gantry in Arctic wind condition. Although it's lovely though on the surface, nice and warm.
Yeah, it's deceptive, isn't it?
It is.
Come on, Marcus, let's have another corner like you did the last one, which was a very good one, and like his first 2.
So then Kelly with the ball. It's an in-swinging corner. There's the header. It goes out of foul. And as usual, with a melee of players, referee has deemed there's been a foul, which there is, and it's a free kick to Gateshead. Brad James with it. It's still 1-0 to Kettering. That goal scored after 6 minutes by Marcus Kelly. His first goal of this season. Luke Graham loses the head to KO'd, but Kennedy wins it back for Kettering to Enty. Enty bustled off the ball, but only finds Connor Kennedy. Kennedy plays it out wide here to Kelly. Now Kelly with a bit of space to run. He's got Meikle in front of him. He's going to go on the outside. He plays it out for Meikle. Good running by Meikle. Nobody with him. Kelly having to chase back to give him a hand. 2 round Meikle, and it goes out for a Kettering Town throw-in by the corner flag. Good work there from Meikle. Meikle leaves the ball for Scars. Usually it's Kennedy that puts in the long ball, but it's going to be Scars. It's not a long throw, and it's back to Meikle from Scars. He turns, having to play himself back. It comes off a Gateshead player. Back to Cartwright, then to Kelly. Kelly down on this side. He comes inside. Away goes Kelly. There's a chance here for Kettering. Ball comes in. There's Enty at the near post, and he just heads over as Connor Kennedy was at the back post. If he'd have missed it, who knows? He might have got a head onto it. Good chance there for Kettering.
Another good chance for Kettering, worked by Marcus Kelly this time, beating his man. Decent cross into that near post area, and Dan Enty getting a flick onto it, but unfortunately just skewing off his head slightly and over the bar.
Back underway with the goal kick towards Kettering. It comes off Cartwright, and that should be a Gateshead throw, and it is. And Alex Nicholson to take this eventually. Still hasn't taken it, still with the ball. Not a lot of movement for Gateshead. O'Donnell wants it, hasn't got it. Deverdix does. And away he goes. That's the inside the penalty area. Might try a shot. He got two round him. In comes the number 8, turns and cleared by Hodge, but only towards Agnew. Agnew, rather heavy ball, but it finds Nelson on the far side. He puts that out of play, and that is a throw in to the Poppies, just near the halfway line, or by the Burton Park Wanderers stand. Quickly taken by Storer. Cartwright plays it long towards Enty. Enty now is coming on in. It's headed down back to the goalkeeper, James. And Kettering haven't made a change yet. Still waiting for Alex Nimley to grace the park. A new signing who got clearance on Tuesday, or Wednesday should I say. He got FA clearance on Wednesday. He got international clearance on Tuesday, so he's eligible to play today. But at the moment, Kettering doing enough. Paul White, ball in his hands towards Enty. It's won by Toby Lees, the back flick towards O'Donnell. Definitely looked their best player, O'Donnell. Comes outside of Richards. He's going down the byline and cut out by Scars. And he clears it, but gives it straight away to Nicholson. Nicholson finds Forbes. Forbes squares it. Could be a shot here from Agnew. He doesn't. Plays it out wide. In comes a shot for the number 3, and Barrow puts that into the foliage at the back of the Morrison's supermarket. That ball will never be seen again.
Well, they keep shooting from that range and that badly, then Kettering will be fine this afternoon. But I say it's been a decent start again to the second half from Kettering. They've created the best chance by far.
Well, that shot, the only thing that troubled was a squirrel, wasn't it, in one of the trees at the back there.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, ball lost, I would have thought. One of the stewards goes out to try and retrieve it. Best of luck with that. Paul White gets us back underway towards Enty, but that's won by Gateshead. Richards wins it back for Kettering, out towards Kelly. Kelly to Scars. Scars, long ball for Meikle. He looked exasperated, does Meikle. What am I supposed to do with that, he's saying, you know, and the ball back with Brad James. I think even Arkle would have struggled to have reached that one in his prime. Headed on, but this is Scars to mop up. Poor ball though by Scars, and Forbes and Kelly having a duel, but Forbes gets away with it, puts the ball through towards Keode, stays on his feet, gets it back to O'Donnell, left footed, comes in, it comes off Scars, and that will be a throw-in to Gateshead, showing enterprise here are Gateshead in Kettering's half. Nicholson back to Lees, Lees back to Nicholson, and then it's back again with Lees. He squares the ball over to Nelson in the centre of the park. Nelson plays it out wide to the substitute. He plays it out wide towards us. That's Alex Nicholson. Good work here from Gateshead. Cut out though by Richards. Cleared anywhere by Scars. And it's hooked back into play. Deverdix on the ball now. He's seen quite a bit of the ball since he's come on. It comes off Richards, who just then does a spinning Jack Leach type delivery. And it's hooked down the line for O'Donnell to chase. Bit scrappy at the moment. And the ball back with goalkeeper Brad James from a back pass by Toby Lees. 1-0 here at Latimer Park in the second half of this entertaining tie against Gateshead. O'Donnell's headed that one on. That should see its way out for a goal kick. It does. And there we are. Paul White goes slowly to collect the ball. Next Saturday we are away at Leamington, the ground where we haven't done any good at. Never seen us beat Leamington, to be honest, because we never have. So there we are. Anyway, first to today's game, Paul White gets us back underway towards Enty. Enty loses out again to Lees, and then Richards can't stop the ball from going out, and that's a throw-in to Gateshead. Nicholson, he's got the ball back to Lees, and he passes it back to the goalkeeper Brad James, who then gives it straight back to Lees. It's a ball down the line here for KO to chase. Scars gets there first, Luke Graham gets there, but he only gives the ball to O'Donnell. O'Donnell turning, twisting, gets the ball to Deverdix here on this right hand side, plays it to Nicholson. Nicholson squares the ball inside to Agnew. Agnew thinks about a shot, doesn't, plays a 1-2 with KO. KO doesn't respond, plays a poor ball though. KO. Enty now gets a chance for Kettering. He's only got Kelly up front under pressure and brought down there, and that should be a booking for Nicholson, and it is. And Enty not happy with that challenge. The referee has seen enough, and Nicholson goes into the book.
Yeah, that was an obvious booking. It was a bit like Marcus Kelly's one, pushing the back, taking one for the team with Kettering on the break.
So Scars then with this free kick just a couple of feet inside the Gateshead half, by the halfway line of course. His hand on hip, bit teapotish that was, but he's just touched the ball, another 6 inches. So left-footed Scars playing it out wide towards Connor Kennedy on the far side. He heads the ball on towards Meikle, but Meikle can't get there, and the defender sees the ball go out for a goal kick right in front of our photographer Peter Short, who's defied all odds by being here with a back injury, and with his box brownie. I'm getting the violins here, but there we are. It's Brad James, held up in the wind a little bit, flicked on by Deverdix. Back to Forbes. Forbes down to Barra, but cut out by Luke Graham. It only finds Forbes again. Bit messy on this far side as Meikle gets the ball to Storer, now to Hodge, now to Meikle. Meikle comes inside, goes by one, goes by two. He's been held back here. Meikle does well, he's beaten 3. Plays it out wide, he needs to play it out wide here, he does, towards Kelly. Kelly now plays it on to Richards, might try a long range, it does, it comes in, and it's a poor shot really from distance along the ground, and goalkeeper Brad James easily collects that at his feet, and to the applause of the Kettering fans behind that goal mouth.
A shame that wasn't a daisy cutter finish, but Lyndon Meikle, what a run from him, beating 3 Gateshead players. But unfortunately for Kettering, no end result from it.
It's Deverdix, the substitute, with the ball now on the left-hand side. He plays it out towards Barrow. Barrow hugging the line. He finds Ollie, but Ollie can't do much with it as Storer robs him of the ball. The throw-in taken back to Ollie from Deverdix. Ollie still with it, being tackled there. Another throw-in to Gateshead. It's Barrow with this one again. Still Barrow in front of the Burger boy. Might order a burger the time he's taking to take this throw-in, but he gets the ball back to Nelson. He squares it alongside to Toby Lees on the halfway line, now into the Kettering half. Plays a long searching ball towards the corner flag, and Forbes heads the ball over, and he's offside. The linesman's flag is raised once again, and the ball rolls away down the imaginary slope that we've got. And Paul White has to run over there to collect the ball. 701 attendance then, rather disappointing I'd have thought, really.
Yeah, it is. We were nearly at 1,000 on the Tuesday night, but I say Chester Dibbering must be 250 fans. Gateshead, well, they haven't brought 50 this afternoon.
Just been told it's Kettering Carnival, so there's another 10 that aren't here then. So
yeah, we've got the carnival as well, which might keep some of the families perhaps away. But yeah, it's disappointing. The team is playing pretty good football. It was a good result really on Tuesday. Very unlucky not to get the win. And 701, yeah, let's hope it's the lowest gate we see here at Latimer Park this season.
Well, yeah, it certainly is a low attendance, but it is Kelly now for Kettering on this left-hand side. He thought about putting one in, he does now towards the back post, but there is Preston, gets the ball to Forbes, who clears it, and only clears it towards Cartwright. He has a heavy header that Scars will do well to keep in. He does. He doesn't. The linesman said that his juggling came to no avail and has gone out for a throw-in right in front of our camera operator, who looks delighted that he's got a close-up of Alex Nicholson. Nicholson then to Lees, back to Nicholson. Heavy ball to O'Donnell, and that's not gone out. It's kept in by Kettering, and it's put in though, and that's a good ball by Nicholson. Rather fortunate to O'Donnell. He's inside the penalty area, puts it in back post. Too heavy, and Ollie couldn't get there. Hodge clears the ball, goes straight to Barrow. Rather heavy touch by him, intercepted by Meikle, plays it back to Kennedy. Only NT up front, and Nelson gets the ball back to the goalkeeper. Let's see what he can do. And he does well, clears it into the wind, Scars underneath it, goes into the centre circle, headed on by Kennedy. Deverdix to KO'd. He finds Agnew. Agnew plays it out wide to Barrow. Into the penalty area, there's KO'd. Storer back heads, but only towards Forbes. Plays it out wide to JJ McDonald. He's going away from the penalty area, by the corner flag almost. He plays it out to Nicholson. Nicholson puts one into the box. Back post headed, and a couple of ricochets there. And Paul White eventually gets the ball. Cries of derision from the Gateshead management down here, inventing a handball.
No, definitely not. I think it was. They looked a bit embarrassed after they shouted, actually, Paul.
Well, yeah, there we go. Well, the ball being kept in the wind. Headed on by Nelson, and then a foul by Kennedy, who can't believe it, on Deverdix. And Kennedy being told to move away from the ball. If he doesn't, he'll find himself in the book. And that's going to be a foul for booking for NT, who tried to stop the very, very stupid booking, trying to impede the free kick taker, and stupidly goes into the book. And that was a stupid decision. Free kick then to be retaken. Barrow with it towards KO'd, and it goes in, and a goal, an equaliser, unmarked. And it's the number 5. Toby Lees steers it by Paul White, and it's really the first attempt that Gateshead have had on target, and it goes into the net. Paul White exasperated with the covering there, well, the lack of covering, and Gateshead get the score back to 1-1.
Well, Kettering have defended well all this afternoon until that point, but that was a very soft goal to give away. Nobody picking up the big centre half, and Paul White no chance from that range. It was almost a lack of concentration there for the Kettering defence.
Well, there we are. A lack of concentration has given Gateshead a lifeline into this game. It's 1-1, and to see out the second half of the second half is Matt Spearman.
Thank you, Paul. Disappointing time to come on when Gateshead have equalised there, but you know what? Second half, Gateshead certainly shown a lot more quality, especially when attacking, and Kettering have had to defend deep there. Let's hope that doesn't continue and Kettering can break forward and try and find a winner here. It is a throw for Gateshead. Nicholson on this near side, looking for options, throws long towards the corner flag, tries to find Coyote, who plays the ball off Kettering's number 5, Cartwright, for a corner. So the pressure from Gateshead continues as Kettering try and build farm, conceding that equaliser. Just having a look to see what Gateshead do here, and they still send a number of players up. They keep their number 2 and 3 back, but everyone else is further up the field, either on the penalty spot, around it, or on the edge of the box. The ball goes in, right on Paul White, right on the line, and he is there to collect it again under pressure. Good collection there from Paul White from the corner there. The ball goes along out of Paul White's hands towards Inti, but over the top of him. The ball's lost for a few seconds from Marcus Kelly, who does then bring the ball down. Needs some support. He plays it back to Scars. Back towards Kelly. Scars just pushing further forward into the Gateshead half now. Richards in the middle towards Kennedy. Kennedy stands on the ball almost, and then that gives Gateshead the opportunity to break the ball over the halfway line, threaded forward, and Cartwright is there to play the ball out. Still with Richards. Richards watches the ball, controls it, plays it all the way back to Luke Graham. Graham out wide towards Storer. Storer, who continues a run forward, wants the ball back, but it's with Hodge at the moment. Into the middle towards Kennedy. All the way back to Cartwright. Kettering operating very defensively here at the moment. Marcus Kelly has to come all the way back to collect the ball. Plays it towards Scars. Scars loops the ball forward, hoping that Lyndon Meikle can get onto the end of it. He can't because the ball goes straight out for a throw. And at the moment, it's Gateshead who are looking the stronger of the two. We do have a pause in the game. It's a substitution for Gateshead. And it's going to be their number 14, Connor Oliver, who will be coming on. And coming off the pitch will be player number 8, Elliot Forbes. So Elliot Forbes replaced by Connor Oliver. After, what's that, 69 minutes?
No subject for Kettering. But,
no, I'm just having a look actually.
Connor is warming up strenuously on the sideline.
Throw in there. Ball continues to make its way towards the Kettering goal here. Throw in for Kettering though. Came off the O'Donnell last. So we have Scars throws it towards Inti. Inti plays the ball into a triangle of 3 white shirted players there, and now it's O'Donnell breaking for Gateshead, twisting and turning his way towards the penalty area. Has a shot, and for a moment there I thought that was in the back of the net. Just opened up in front of him, didn't it?
Fluttered the side netting really, but it was a tremendous strike. If it had been on target, I don't think Paul White would have got it. But fortunately for Kettering, it was just wide, and they are going to make a response now. Aaron O'Connor is getting stripped to come off. And just a question of who is coming off for the Poppies.
Ball bounces over Enty towards Meikle. Meikle tries to play it towards Marcus Kelly. Doesn't quite get on the end of it there. Almost wonder, will it be Hodge?
Yeah, number 10 is on the board, so that's a good indication that it'll be Elliot Hodge that will make way in the near future.
So 70 minutes gone here at Latimer Park. Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 1. In this Vanarama National League North game. You're listening to Poppers TV audio, sponsored by Elsgood Brewery. Goals came from Marcus Kelly after 7 minutes before Toby Lee scored after 65 minutes. It will be a Gateshead throw in their own half. Ball goes long and goes straight out. I'm not sure if it actually went into the field of play there, but Kettering with the throw. Joe Scars looks forward and he's looking for options at the moment. He's struggling, he's trying to find the head of Enty, who's sandwiched between 2 Gateshead players. The ball's then cleared. Luke Graham with the header. Falls towards O'Donnell. Ball just back and forth at the moment. No team able to take control and keep possession of the ball. The substitution will happen though for Kettering, and it will be it's Alex Nimley who is actually coming on.
Making his debut.
Yep, Elliot Hodge coming off here, so can he make a debut for everyone at Latimer Park to remember? Let's hope he can. We haven't seen much of him. We've been waiting for international clearance. Lots of paperwork involved due to him playing outside the UK, but that's all sorted now, and he is here. He is on the pitch here at Latimer Park. And let's see what he can do. But at the moment, he's watching the Gateshead number 12, David Dix, playing the ball back. Ball crossed into the area. Paul White comes out and, well, he looked calm when he collected that, but it was picking up pace. The ball went into the penalty area. He was able to hold onto it, and at the moment he looks around before playing the ball off the ground. And that goes long, and it looks like Inti has started to make his way to the right-hand side of the pitch. with Nimley further forward. Meikle being held there, and the referee finally reacts with a free kick for Kettering in a positive position here, halfway in the Gateshead half. It will be Skars, who will take the free kick, and Kettering pushing Cartwright and Graham forward. Actually, it'll be Marcus Kelly who will take this in the end. Let's hope we see one of his better distributions of the ball here. Luke Graham on the very back of the penalty box. The ball does go in. Graham does try to get his head onto it. Shouts of the ball possibly going over the line while the goalkeeper's holding it, but a flat kick out from him here, and Graham plays the ball forwards towards Nimley. Nimley with his first touch of the ball, and a bit of a rushed shot there, straight into the arms of Brad James. But on the pitch at the moment is a Gateshead player. The game has stopped. And just trying to see who it is who's down at the moment, receiving treatment. But not the best of first touches there from Nimley, was it? But it was a bit of a rushed.
Yeah, he had sort of, well, not even half a chance, a quarter of a chance. If he'd have made the right contact to lob the ball when it unexpectedly came to him, he could have made himself a real name here at Latimer Park. Scoring pretty much would have been his first touch, I think. But not to be, but hopefully.
Let's hope there's some more.
Well, yeah, I think we do need a bit more, because I think the last 10 minutes or so, Kettering have lost their way a little bit, allowed Gateshead to have too much of the ball. And from a creative perspective, we've been very quiet, not put any more pressure on Brad James this afternoon. So yes, we've got to pause now while the treatment continues. It's Agnew, number 4, that's just got to his feet now, so hopefully he's okay. Looks a little bit on the groggy side though, as he comes off with the physio to the touchline. But yeah, Kettering just need to regroup again and you know, start going forward again. We can't sort of sit back and just like Gateshead try and nick the winner.
It's certainly looking like it's going to be set up for a sort of 4-3-3 formation for Kettering in these last 20 minutes or so here, with Skars, Storer, Graham and Cartwright in defence. In midfield, Richards, Kennedy and Kelly, and then in front of them is Meikle and Nimley. The game does resume here at Latimer Park, 1-1 at the moment. Throw in for Gateshead on the far side of the pitch, just in front of the Burton Park Wanderers FC stand, where a number of the officials sit. Throw in is finally taken. It goes all the way back towards Lees. Lees plays it to Nelson. Nelson plays the ball forward. Storer cuts the ball out. And another throw for Gateshead. Barrow with the throw. Looking for options at the moment, looking to try and get that ball into the penalty area, which he does. The ball goes in, crashes off the post. Good reactions there from Gateshead, who try and get the ball back in again, but it's finally cleared away. But Kettering under pressure at the moment. Nelson plays it towards Barrow. Barrow again with another ball into the area. Another stab as Gateshead try and get the ball in the back of the net through Coyote. And this time the ball is cleared over the halfway line and all the way back towards Brad Jones in goal for Gateshead. But Kettering didn't really react at all there, did they?
No, it's poor defending again for Kettering. They started to look a little bit ropey at the back now. They allowed Greg Ollie, it was, to come across 2 or 3 players and get a perfect good shot away on his right foot. It beat Paul White. Fortunately for Kettering, the woodwork was there to save us. But we need to, I say, step it up again, because at the moment there only looks one winner here.
Certainly, it looks like Gateshead have certainly had a good team talk at half-time and have been able to build on it, whereas Kettering have had to do a lot of watching this second Still 1-1 here at Latimer Park, and the ball's in the hands of Brad James, the goalkeeper for Gateshead at the moment, who then finally places the ball on the ground, plays the ball long, and using the advantage of this breeze we have here at Latimer Park. NT finds the ball, now Nimley's chasing after the ball, it goes all the way back to goalkeeper, kicks it first time, and it's a decent kick from him, watched in the air from Scars, heads it forward towards Kelly. Kelly tries to get past the number 2 Nicholson. O'Donnell with the ball, now being chased after by Deverdix, and Sam Cartwright just allows that ball to roll out for a goal kick for the Poppers. Good bit of defending there from the youngster on loan from Peterborough, looking to establish himself in this Kettering starting 11 to get the experience. Paul White looks for options and plays it to this left-hand side, finds Nimley, heads forward towards Kelly. Kelly now still on this left-hand side, cuts into the area, on the edge of the penalty area, near the corner flag now, back towards the corner flag, back towards Scars. Scars just stops the ball in his tracks, plays it back towards Kelly. Kelly towards Richards. Michael Richards with the ball, brings it central, switches it over towards Lyndon Meikle on the opposite side of the penalty area. His control lets him down and it's kicked up high in the air. Gary Storer controls the ball, plays it towards Kennedy, who then loses it, but Storer gets it back. Luke Graham now on the halfway line, plays the ball forward, trying to find Unti, who appeals that he was held there, and Gateshead now come away with the ball, though Michael Richards is putting the player number 11, O'Donnell, under pressure. He comes over again to try and get the ball back off him, and he's had to play that back towards his defender. The ball's played long. Gary Storer is watching this. He's got space and time. He heads it forward, finds Lyndon Meikle, and Storer then clears the ball forward again. This time there's no one in red nearby, and the defence of Gateshead are allowed to pick up the ball and have time to play over that halfway line towards Everdick. Plays it out wide now, continues on that left hand side into the penalty area, and it's Cartwright who has to kick the ball away, trying to get it out into touch, but it doesn't go. Gateshead still with the ball on the halfway line, trying to find their way forward, this time with Connor Oliver. Plays it out to the left hand side. Gateshead play the ball into the area. Scars loses the ball, and for a moment there no one really knew where the ball was, right in the penalty area, but it's finally cleared now with Marcus Kelly, left hand side, finds Nimley on the halfway line, looks for options, plays it towards Richards, and the ball just powers its way from Scars. It will be a throw-in for Gateshead, and it's Gateshead who are building this momentum up here at Latimer Park at the moment.
Yeah, Kettering looking a little bit ragged now, and they're getting a little bit overrun in the midfield area. Gateshead are coming through, passing through now too easily for my liking, and they're piling on the pressure for Kettering.
As you say, just looking a little lethargic, Kettering, in certain areas. It is a throw-in though, and it gives them this opportunity just to have a quick breather and put themselves in the in an area where the ball can reach. It's Nti, plays it back, ball over the top again, a long ball towards Nimley. Nimley does get his head to it. He's complaining that he's being held by number 5, Toby Lees, the goal scorer for Gateshead, but the referee says no, the game continues. Gateshead clear their defence, and it's on the far side of the pitch at the moment. Lots more space out there here at Latimer Park. Gateshead able to pass the ball around. Connor Kennedy coming in there, and looks like he receives the ball or gains the ball, but the referee says it's a foul, and the booking is coming out again. It will be a booking for number 8, Connor Kennedy. So that's the third Kettering player to go in the book this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't have too many complaints. My first reaction was Kennedy, he's got a tendency to dive in on his challenges, and I think he caught the Gateshead player's ankle, and yeah, another one on the yellow card brigade for the for the Poppies, and Gateshead are going to make their third and final substitution.
Yeah, I think it's number 11, JJ O'Donnell, coming off, who certainly looks a threat for Gateshead this afternoon.
And Paul Blackett is number 15, has come on.
I don't know if that's a good thing for Kettering that he's come off the pitch, because he certainly looked a dangerous player this afternoon.
Yeah, I think he got a bit of a knock in the second half, and it just sort of slowed him down a little bit, and that's the last throw of the dice from Gateshead. They're on top. They'll be looking to maintain that, of course, but let's hope the Poppies can hold out at the very least.
We've had about 83 minutes here at Latimer Park. There will obviously be a bit of a injury time to add on to that. Nimley, though, plays the ball, tries to cross it over to Meikle. Nti now forcing his way through, and Marcus Kelly does get on the end of it, but the ball is played off him and it goes out for a throw-in on the halfway line for Gateshead. Gateshead look to launch the ball towards the Kettering goal, which they do. Coyote, who had the header there, now Nimley just back in, collects the ball, just plays it, too heavy to find Nti. Nti now just further back instead of his striker position, now dropped slightly to allow Nimley into the game. But it's Gateshead who look to break. It's number 7, Coyote. Coyote comes towards the penalty area, looks to cross the ball in, plays it back towards number 2, Nicholson. Nicholson crosses the ball, far post, watched by Gary Storer. Poor clearance from Gary Storer allows the Gateshead player to have an opportunity. Now with number 4, plays it over Agnew, who had more time than I think he realised. Could have brought that down, and well, instead he leaned back and the ball went over the top. It looks like it will be a substitution for Kettering as well. Shortly, I think Brett Solcombe will be making his way on, and it will be Meikle, who at the moment...
Number 7, yeah, he's up on the board.
Yep.
Lyndon Meikle.
I'm surprised when you've got the likes of Alan O'Connor on the bench, but is it more of a see the game out? Will Nicky Eden be happy with a draw here today? Header from Nimley, and the ball's played back to Brad James, the goalkeeper in yellow for Gateshead today. Michael Richards heads it up into the air and is fouled while heading that, and it will be a free kick for Kettering, just in their own half, probably 1 foot in their own half. Time for the substitution. So Lyndon Meikle makes his way off from the far side of the pitch. Brett Solcombe will be coming on. 86 minutes gone here at Latimer Park. Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 1. And if you look at this, it could be the 5th draw for Gateshead this season. Played 5, drawn 5.
The draw specialist at the moment, but is there going to be a final twist in this game?
Scowers with the free kick on the edge of the penalty area. The ball's lost momentum, but then picked up again. Played towards Coyote, who now charges forward. Kettering have to be alert here in defence. The ball's threaded through. There are plenty of Kettering players back there. It's finally cleared forward. Nimley watches this. He's been held by the number 5, but gets away and looks for options now. He releases Nti. Nti has got Storer overlapping, finds him. Storer with the ball, plays it back towards Nti, but too much power on it, but still controls it. Ball crossed in there, header there, up from... Well, it's Brett Solcombe who got into that penalty area, and the header from him I thought was going straight over the goal post, but it was one of them sort of up and then back down again. It didn't really go anywhere. The goalkeeper was able to collect the ball, but an opportunity there for Kettering.
I think it was Toby Lees in close attendance to Brett there that stopped him getting the proper contact that he was looking for, but slight sniff for Kettering. I've just been told that there will be, at the appropriate time, an extra 4 minutes added this afternoon. We'll let you know when those 4 minutes commence.
The long ball goes very long, goes through all the Kettering players and the Gateshead players all the way to Brad Jones, who's given the opportunity to put that ball back into the Kettering half. Cartwright heads it up. Graham stumbles but is able to make contact. Devedix plays the ball out wide. Looks to try and get the ball back. The ball static, and then finally there's an overlap there. Cartwright with the head up in the air. NT doing some defending now. Tries to clear the ball forward. Plays it off the Gateshead player. Will be a throw-in for Kettering. Deep in their own half though. Gateshead will be happy with this if the ball stays here. They'll be able to put Kettering under pressure, which they almost do, although NT does get the ball again. He is fouled in the process. It will be a free kick for Kettering. So announce here that Luke Graham is the man of the match here at Latimer Park. He's certainly worked hard, got some important headers in, and when needed, Solcombe watches the ball come down. Connor Kennedy has a lot of the ball there, played into the area. Nimley tries to bring the ball down, just doesn't work for him. Almost tries a overhead kick here, and while doing so, makes contact with the Gateshead player, and the referee urgently requires the physio to come on for Gateshead. I'm not sure if it's Michael Nelson. No, it isn't. It's possibly Toby Lees. But
yeah, number 5, I think.
But he's
acrobatics.
Yeah, acrobatics there. He was too far out, surely, to find the back of the net for Kettering. But frustration building for the Kettering attackers. So 4 minutes of injury time. What can happen in these 4 minutes? A lot can happen, we know. Certainly seen that on Tuesday night. Let's hope there's not a repeat where the opposition get a penalty or find the back of the net. 1-1 here at Latimer Park. So the Gateshead player comes off. It was number 5, Toby Lees. He goes straight back onto the pitch, and the game resumes here with them 4 minutes to go. Good header there from Luke Graham again. NT plays the ball back to Storer. Storer long over the top, searching ball, and it's finally picked up by Oliver. And Graham has to react again here. This time he plays it into the middle of the park, over the top of Michael Richards. Could be an opportunity here for Gateshead if they release the ball at the right time. They don't, and it's intercepted by Kettering, but Gateshead will get back here with Nicholson. Played out wide. Ball crossed in towards the near post. It's missed, and it's directed in, and Gateshead have found the winner here at Latimer Park. It came off the number 7, Joshua Coyote. Ball crossed in. There was a mix-up at that far post, it seemed, with, well, I think it was Sam Cartwright in the end, but Gateshead have found a winner here at Latimer Park, and you can't say it wasn't coming, because this second half, Gateshead have certainly built the momentum, and Kettering, as mentioned earlier on, have struggled this second half.
Yeah, they've not hit the heights of the first half, and it was a question over the last 20 minutes of thinking, can we hang on for a point? But as per Chester game on Tuesday, we've entered injury time and we've conceded another goal, and it was the inability, to stop the cross. That was the problem initially, and it was a very good cross in as well. And the ball just landed right. Coyote didn't know too much about it, I think, but he got the contact that was sufficient just to knock it past Paul White, and it looks like a very disappointing afternoon for Kettering.
Certainly after they took the lead early on after 7 minutes, thanks to Marcus Kelly, but since then it's Gateshead who have built and gained the momentum, and these next 3 minutes are going to be very frustrating for Kettering, as Gateshead know all they need to do is do their defensive work, get the ball in the Kettering half for the next 3 minutes, and they'll be happy. The ball goes long, It goes out for a throw-in for the Poppers in their own half. Frustration there as the ball is kicked high up into the air. Gary Storer wants to take the throw-in but has no ball to throw at the moment. And I believe there's going to be a yellow card there for the number 10, Greg Ollie, for kicking the ball away. Throw-in is taken finally. So ball with Luke Graham played forward. Nimley controls it. Plays it towards Kelly, who slips at the wrong time. Was it the wrong time though? Bet Solcombe almost gets on the end of it. Shouts of a penalty or some sort of foul from the Kettering fans behind that goal. Kettering still pushing forward. Ball played up by Barrow. Where will it come down? It will come down. There's a foul, and Kettering do have an opportunity here. It is halfway in the Gateshead half, probably a little closer to the penalty area, to be honest. Marcus Kelly with his hands on the ball. And Paul White goes up into the penalty area as well. So everyone back for Gateshead. Pretty much everyone up for Kettering apart from Gary Storer, who's the last man here. Marcus Kelly with the free kick, one man in the wall. Referee gets himself into position, blows his whistle, the ball goes in far post. There's a header there, Luke Graham sends it to the left-hand side of the post. Now he is the man of the match today. He certainly would have, definitely would have earned that if he had found the equaliser there. Paul White retreating back to his own goal. Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 2.
Yeah, and is that the last chance there for Kettering? It was a half chance for Luke Graham on the back post. He got his head to it, but he couldn't steer it in.
Well, before the game, after the Chester game, Nicky Eden said that he wanted Latimer Park to be a fortress, but it looks like that fortress has been defeated here from Gateshead. Throw in for Kettering. Scars with a throw towards Nimley. Miss kick there, and it's Connor Kennedy with the ball, plays it back towards Luke Graham, who needs to get this ball forward, which he does, but it's too far forward for Marcus Kelly. And the final whistle goes here at Latimer Park. It is Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 2. Kettering took the lead after 7 minutes. Marcus Kelly finding the back of the net before Toby Lees got the equaliser after 65 minutes, and yet again Kettering concede a goal in injury time. This time in 91 minutes it was Joshua Coyote who found the back of the net. So Gateshead will be travelling back up north with the 3 points. Kettering will be licking their wounds, and will have to now prepare for a game a week today against Leamington.
Yeah, harsh lesson that was for Kettering. I think it just goes to show you in this league you can't afford to play well for 60 or even 70 minutes. You need to carry on going for 90 minutes plus. And I'm afraid the last 20 minutes or so Kettering were hanging on, and they couldn't hang on ultimately, and it's been a disappointing afternoon.
Yep, certainly disappointing for the 701, or for most of the 701 fans here today. Gateshead, as I say, will be making their way back up north, and they will be pleased with them 3 points after drawing 4 games. They've finally found the 3 points. Kettering will still have a lot of searching to do here if they want to make progress in this league. But for me, Matt Spearman, I will sign off here. Obviously, you'll be able to see highlights of the game on Monday, 1 minute past midnight on Monday. You'll be able to watch that. You'll also be able to find the interviews as well through our Kettering Town website. You'll be able to see that on YouTube. You'll also be able to find the links on Twitter as well. But disappointment here at Latimer Park as Gateshead go over to receive applause from their fans. Final score here, Kettering Town 1, Gateshead 2.
Well, Luke, a disappointing ending again in a home game with a late winner. Must be gutting for the team and for the management and yourself, obviously, with a performance like that.
Yeah, I think to be fair, it's coming. We didn't play well second half. I think too many were coasting, not working hard enough, not putting pressure on the ball, and we've let, in my opinion, an average side come and take 3 points off us, which is a difference between this level and the level below.
You mentioned before you came on about the levels. It's certainly last season we'd have closed that game out and gone through and probably won that game, but here every mistake is punished.
Yeah, there's a clear difference in the level. It's intensity, it's desire, fitness levels. It's a step up, and I felt the league level was quite poor last year, and that's not taken away from the fantastic group of players we had. But there's only one or two decent sides in it this time round. It looks like there's probably at the moment 22 decent sides, so we are one of them. But we can't switch off like that. We should have had 3 points on Tuesday night. We should have 3 points today. So it's disappointing, really disappointing.
It seems the last 20 minutes it seems to go sort of pear-shaped slightly for Kettering. I mean, Tuesday night against Chester, of course, that late penalty, which was controversial anyway, the sending off with Marcus, of course, which was controversial, and again a lapse in concentration at the back and nipped in and got a winner, almost like the one at Darlington, really, wasn't it, that little nip in?
Yeah, I think again, that sort of the balls coming in the box are of a lot better quality. The movement in the box is a lot better, but we need to get pressure on the ball. I don't know how many crosses went in that last 25 minutes, but there seemed to be a lot of crosses with no pressure, and that can't be right because I can't remember our lads having loads of time to just put crosses in the box. So clearly, certain personnel aren't doing the jobs or doing the extra miles, and that's what you got to do in the last 20 minutes. And whether Gaffer will look at that and whether he needs to get more legs on there. But I felt Tuesday was slightly different because I felt we did manage the game quite well. I felt that was a complete refereeing nightmare the last 20 minutes. But it just so happens that again 20 minutes again, particularly last 20 minutes, that people are switching off and not working hard enough,
By the time we come back to Latimer Park, we'll have been to Leamington, not a happy hunting team ground for Kettering, haven't beaten Leamington, and then of course we're going to have Kidderminster Harriers here, which are another strong team, not doing so well this season, but coming thick and fast these games.
Yeah, we always knew end of August you would have played almost a quarter of your games, 8-9 games, so 20% of your season's gone, and you certainly will see where you're at after that bank holiday weekend. The league will start forming, and really in my mind, we have to pick up at least a win every 3 games at this level. So we need a win over them 2 games. There's no question about that. Leamington will be horrible, physical. Kidderminster will try and play football, and that's what you're up against. Last year, I didn't work out a lot of teams, if I'm honest with you. That's not being disrespectful, but we clearly had just a better group of players. This year, every game, we're doing a lot of homework on these teams. We're giving lads plenty of information. We've stepped it up. It's a lot more professional than it was last year. Doing a lot of things off the field. Everything's done right. So there's no real excuses. And that's, as a management team, that's what you want. You want to throw it back on the players and go, you've got everything you want. Now produce it on the pitch. And we need to find a little bit more consistency and find the right performance throughout 90 minutes from this group of players.
How will you lift the team up ready for Saturday at Leamington after that disappointment?
Well, for me, it'll be quite easy. We get on the training pitch. We're doing a lot more training this year. We'll be training Tuesday, Thursday. We're identifying things we need to improve. And I'll be honest with you, the lads have been great with a new gaffer coming in. I think it helps the continuity with myself. We went away, we had a great trip in Benidorm, and we've got a fantastic team spirit and core group, and they're all working hard. They've all stepped up their game, and I think there has been some glimpses of some decent performances. It has been encouraging at times. It's just the consistency in it all. So it
does take time to acclimatise to a new division, although Kings Lynn seem to have just swept on from where they took off earlier on. But it does take time to acclimatise.
Yeah, I think with Kings Lynn, they've same as us, have kept a core group of players, but in all honesty, I think they were the best team in the league from October onwards last year. Again, not being disrespectful to ourselves, but I think if we look at their run of form, they were the form team. They've kept it pretty the same. So have we, but I think they've got a little bit more quality on the board than we have at the moment. I think the last 2 games you've seen, we have got a lot more quality than we showed against Kingston and Darlington. Our performance has been markedly improved in the last 2 home games. We've got to take that away to Leamington and start realising that we've got some good players, and you do get a little bit more time at this level. There is a little bit more respect, and there is a little bit more thought of pressing and low block, mid block, all that kind of tactical guru stuff. So we've got a good group of players. It's just knowing at the right times, a bit of decision making. But you can't get away from working hard for 90 minutes. You know?
We've also come up against some decent goalkeepers. I mean, he pulled off 3 very good saves, did Brad James today, and also at Darlington when we went 1-0 down. I think we could have got an equaliser, but another great save from the Darlington keeper. At key moments, they seem to have gone against Kettering, rubber the green, the usual cliches.
It normally happens when not getting results. But we've got a good keeper ourselves, and obviously we needed him a couple of games to keep the scoreline down. But it's great that the last 2 games Paul's not really been called on much, so we've tied up defensively. However, we've still haven't kept a clean sheet yet. Whoever's been on the field, and it's 1 to 11, 1 to 15, 16. So again, yes, there's better quality players on field, and I think everyone is enjoying the step up and everyone relishing it. But 4 points from 5 games should, in my opinion, probably be 7 or 8. But we've got to turn that, flip that around now. Like I say, you go Saturday, Monday, all them groups of the group of players we've got, everyone's going to be needed around that bank holiday weekend, and we'll see where we're at after that. But I'm confident we've got the players to keep on picking results up as long as we keep learning from it.
Okay, Luke, thank you very much for that. Let's hope that we can get some points at Leamington or against Kidderminster, which will be great if we can in front of our own fans. Okay. I thought something went there. Okay, Luke, thank you. Cheers. So what I'll do with that, I'll just check with Nicky, but I'll put those in programme notes as player coach. Luke Graham in the side FM picking up man of the match. Things seem to be going wrong in the last 20 minutes or so, and especially in the last few minutes of the game. Chester, a last-minute penalty, and then today a real kick in the private parts, really.
Yeah, I mean, we did deserve something out of the game, but the second half sort of performance wasn't as good as the first half. I think if you said to him at half time, if anything, you've got to up your game again, because Gateshead, knew they'd come out, being 1-0 down, and then you probably throw a bit more caution to the wind, and we had to deal with it. But we dealt with it for most of it. But I just felt that we weren't getting as much pressure on the ball. There was a bit more space for them to play, and I think there's a tendency, that players want to sit. If they sit off and keep the ball in front of them, that it's easier to defend. But then I think you just invite pressure. It lets them literally get the ball close to your goal and get balls into your box, which is what's cost us in the end.
I said to Luke, how do we pick up from that? We've had 2 disappointing results with games really where we shouldn't have lost or drawn. A tough game against Leamington, and then an even tougher one probably against Kidderminster.
Yeah, I mean, obviously very close together. Leamington will give us different problems to what Kidderminster will, different problems to what we've had today. But we've got to go away from home and battle for everything now.
Nimley came on, he added a bit of spice to the game. Would he form a good partnership, I think, with NT and O'Connor when they get flying?
We'd like to think so. They've got, Alex is quite good holding the ball up and bringing other people into play, and hopefully we get Danny and Onaza running off him.
It's going to be a long, tough season with anything to go by. It isn't going to be easy. We've already said that and seen that with the teams that we've played, but it must be frustrating to a certain extent, for yourself.
Well, it is when you play. I think there's only really trying to think. It was the Kings Lynn game. We weren't really at it. In the first half. And who did we play after that?
Darlington.
That was the real disappointing one. That you felt like you were never in the game. You couldn't see how we were going to get back in the game once we were a goal down. But all the other games, we've been well in them. I would have said, we're the better team first half today.
Well, the impetus was with us. I mean, the goalkeeper pulled off 3 very good saves in that first half, didn't he? And if they'd have gone in, of course, that would have changed the tide.
Yeah, and again, going back to the Chester game, he missed the penalty, scored 2-0 up, but you can't blame missed chances. If we're 1-0 up, you hopefully you see the game out and you win 1-0.
So we got, as I say, Leamington on next Saturday and Bank Holiday Monday, Kidderminster. Got to lift the lads up now and carry on, obviously.
Yeah, what we can't afford to do is feel sorry for ourselves, and obviously it's very different from last season when you're winning, week in, week out. We knew it was going to be hard. We knew we weren't really, we're not really going to be challenging at the top, with the clubs that are in there. But, I think it's just important. We know where we are, and we keep battling away every game.
Have you got a target set that you, in your own mind, where we should be? Or
no, I don't. I never. When I came in, I said I never set targets, because what happens when things don't go to plan? You just change your targets constantly anyway. So, if you just said finish mid-table and you have a real good start, you're like, well, we'll change it. We should be in the playoffs, but you never know what happens. So, I don't set targets. I don't really go beyond the next game.
hopefully the fans will come out in force against Kidderminster. It's an old standing fixture, and you've played probably against them a few times for Kettering as well, I suppose, haven't you? When we were in the Northern Division last time, so it's going to be another good afternoon.
Yeah, it'll be a tough afternoon, be tough on Saturday as well. Leamington, I know Paul well, and I know how he sets his team up. They're always difficult to play against, hard to beat, and they will battle for everything. That's why they've stayed up in the division for the last couple of years. Okay, Nicky, commiserations for today. Thank you for coming in, and let's hope that we can change the fortunes round in the next week. Okay, thank you. That's Nicky. The result, and that is the end of our broadcast. Hope you've enjoyed it all but the result, and we'll see you at Leamington next week.